seem to be a oxymoron, the mechanics with the mechanic. Regardless, this is before it gets banned out, and it's a safe check of what else Blacklist might be rocking.
Yeah, and at the same time, picking up the Eve also takes away a power pick from the hands of UA.
That's right.
But it still has a lot of power picks available. The Valentina's up. Usually what Blacklist like to do is pick up the Valentina in this scenario so that they have a Valentina and an Eve on their team in the hands of UA. And the Faramis maybe might be the combo with it if the Valentina is going to be locked in. But yes, the Faramis for sure is the pickup for Blacklist International.
Oh. They're going with the combination that we've seen a couple times, especially, even through the regular season. So how's this look in the Valentina, the Faramis combination with the Joy?
With that turns off the idea of a glue going to the hands of RSG Slate. Arlot's available, but they can also go for Claude here if they want to.
If they do pick up the Arlot, it gives already not just the RWM, but also the final slash to UA.
That's the gambit that you pose when you have these heroes picked in that order up against a Valentina. So many beautiful ultimates that you're giving. It'll just be up to RSG to play the better game if they really want to, which is a tall order against Blacklist International. Nay, a tall order for any team fighting here in MPL Philippines.
And this is going to come down to if the last phase of picking goes as expected. It's going to come down to, as you called last night, Reptar, pagalingan pumindot. Who can press buttons on your phone better? But so far, yeah, he did.
I tried to translate it once again in my head. I don't think it's going to happen today.
Yeah, just we'll let it sit. I think people are familiar. I was driving last night, couldn't have taken my eyes off the screen. Amazing matchup. They ban out the Baksha, taking out of the hands of Wise. A lot of choke coming in for V-Wise. As well, the Kufra. Now, it's a lot of light heroes for Blacklist.
Yeah, that's they know who to focus on in this scenario. Are they also going to take out his Cho? But we don't see the Cho anymore.
It's Lolita.
The Lolita is available.
Ban that out.
Yeah, it seems like that's going to be the ban. But, Lolita. A sensible ban, but what the heck is like going to end up?
I was going to say, that's what I'm sitting here thinking. With all those light bans, who do you opt for, right? They do decide to take out, RSG takes out the Claude here for that marksman option. The gold lane still up in the air for Owl.
This
so
might
we'll see.
This might be an Emon pickup for a Melissa pickup for RSG Slate Philippines.
Synonymous.
If they want to. It's synonymous at this point. It's going to be the Lancelot, the Arlot, and whichever the roamer will be for RSG to provide space for an Eve and Melissa backline.
I will protect you.
As Blacklist International take away the Lolita, as expected. Good call there, Leo. So Light's hero might go last, or even the Melissa might go last later, because the Melissa doesn't really stack up that well with the lineup of Blacklist.
I'm thinking about how Coach Theo and Coach Panda are approaching this, because were they expecting the choke on Light? Or do they even answer back? Do they respond and say, "Oh, go get Emon right here," because Light's already choked out, anyways?
Yeah, this has to be something different. Oh, they got drafted into a corner. If it's gonna be a Grok, if it's gonna be a Ruby, we saw that UA with the wild charge on him.
Yeah.
Equally deadly.
Grok sounds all right. I mean, you can overload the choices of UA.
That too.
At some point, you just don't care.
Yeah, you can also consider that. So they do pick up the Melissa.
The Emon.
For Emon. The Emon
there
for Melissa.
Okay. I like the idea, too. If they do, depending on what that last roam option is going to be for RSG, in a way, it actually makes things difficult for UA, right? To really decide which ultimate am I going to take, right? And it also becomes to the point where you really want to save even that evil, that real-world manipulation, but on the switch back, Akai's going to be locked in, plus the carry here. So now we've got the painted picture for what Blacklist International wants to do for Game 1.
Wow, the roam pickup for Light. What is he going to pick up? It's a...
You named a couple solid picks.
Yeah.
What if he goes Angela? We've seen this before where they really focus on the roam options, and then you see an Angela pickup. Now the debut pickup wasn't very good.
Under Omega.
It was not good.
It's an understatement.
I don't like how a Angela would look for this. Grok might end up becoming the option, but I think RSG Slate also know that, yeah, we can. But they thought about it a long time. They still pick it up anyway. Last best possible option.
Yep. Most likely the simplest way is a straight line, and Grok is the straight line in this situation, in this equation against Blacklist International. Locking in their Game 1 lineups, folks. Not much flex in here. Again, even by banning out the Baksha, Wise gets his hand on the Akai. Good old reliable there.
Good old reliable indeed. Because of the presence of the Joy, I am going to think that, and Challenge Midnight. I'm going to post there my prediction, actually. There's a spreadsheet out there that has my name on there, and it says Blacklist International. But we got our analyst prediction.
At this point, I don't think anybody's going to take my predictions.
I was going to say, at this point, what are predictions?
That's right.
What are caster predictions?
It's a blank. You look it up in the dictionary, it's blank.
It's blank.
No one knows. All right, here we go. Loading into the land of dawn. The MSC 2022 champions going up against our defending MPL Philippines champions. I wonder what early rotation is going to look like. Are they going to barrel down on the jungle, or maybe even the XP lane? How's Nats going to respond?
It's XP lane again.
Oh.
Similar to how Blacklist played against Bren. It's an early first level pressure onto Nats. And they're going to be sharing XP in the XP lane so that they can get quick levels, level 4 for UA.
I like that. You know, get that early level that you can, and then try to be aggressive. Even though my Venus is going to go ahead and get some of that vision here, but Light will most likely take care of that, push them out. And yeah, interestingly enough, how these rotations kind of dictate this Game 1. Again, a lot of this too can be up to momentum, and that's what we saw RSG do yesterday, right? And momentum is huge for them, and so we got to see if that plays the part here for this matchup.
We see here, Extort gets a little bit of time to breathe, goes on and recalls home. Down bottom though, Emon seems to be in trouble.
Emon's going to be in trouble here. Heavy spin already going to be used. He's trying to hold on, should be fine. Luckily, Light was there. And Emon will survive that one.
Great positioning by Emon to make sure that he gets heavy spun into an area that isn't way too deadly for him to handle.
Irad.
I think Edward wants to chase this down. He ran a couple hits away. First blood going to the hands of Oh My Venus. So RSG trying to get some space there in the enemy territory, but they get punished.
Did Irad spend his Phantom Execution?
He did not, actually. I think Ira just really trusted that he'd be able to get away with it, saved it up. But then the cooldown of that anyway isn't way too long.
That's right.
So I think Ira just kind of confident that he'd get away. But we commend there the rotation of Oh My Venus and Edward to ensure that they got that kill. That's, again, it seems like since yesterday when they faced Bren, Blacklist just know so well how the opposing X-Planer and Jungler and Roamer rotates. And that was a prime example of it.
You can ask the question whether they know or they're forcing him to respond a certain way.
All right, they already get the flicker out. Going to be fighting for the first turtle of the game. RWM going to come down too. Light quite low, has to flicker out defensively. Phantom Execution will help secure first turtle of the game for RSG.
Good to know that the young John Tuazon, despite the early fumble on the first blood, maintaining his composure.
Oh, Nav's hungry for a kill here. Will he be able to grid it down?
Oh!
No! Agent Zero able to survive with a sliver of health, and Navs is the one to get punished.
Oh, fancy footwork there by Edward. He thought he was going left, but then he went right. He thought he'd go down, then he went up, and then he just survived through that, getting the kill onto Navs. What a play there, the micro showcase by Edward.
Well, still going to be going Light, using the wild charge here. Oh My Venus.
Ooh.
Still playing around. Edward going to help out here, forcing him back. Nav's there as well. Doesn't want to make the same mistake. Will poke down Edward a little bit.
Oh!
Knows that he doesn't have the ultimate, but will back off ultimately.
Nas is so eager to go for round 2 so quick.
Confidence there of Nats. Still early game though, but Seems like a lot of pressure is being placed on him and his lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, here comes RSG in the gold.
Yeah, Owl, see if he can survive this. There's the Cult Altar response. Light gonna get dragged back. Real world manipulation comes down. Not gonna be enough as UA gets the kill. Gonna force Exort to flicker out. Emon working on that turret as well. Knows the information is there.
Oh,
UA not gonna let it happen. Recalls there. Irad thought he was in the bush, but still, oh my Venus left. We're self here in the bottom side. Now Owl joining up. Not sure if RSG wants to commit to anything else.
Here's how long that sequence went. Light died at the start of that engagement, and then now he's back, and he's threatening another gank.
Let's run it back, boys, says Light. RSG, Eman again. Fantastic positioning, acknowledgement of when to use his dash at the right time, when to use his ultimate at the right time, just to give him that little bit more inch of room to work with. And again, Blacklist failed to take down the gold laner of RSG. Let's see what happens here for this next turtle.
Edward and Owan is going to push back Navs here. He's about half health. He's going to get the stun off, trying to get out of there. The final slash comes through as well. Irad joining the party, looking for a kill. Can they grab it? Vengeance going to be popped. Edward runs away with his life. Irad a little bit too late.
There's just too much damage coming in from this Joy early on with the Vengeance.
They're still going to be going while Charge is committed. There's the Cult Altar response, and Light will fall under the turret. Time and time again, Blacklist International coming out with wins. Wise will secure the turtle on top of it. Still on the hunt. Edward, how does he survive again?
Always just a sliver of health. What a showcase by these two teams. Blacklist International, though, in the lead. 2,000 gold. And you have to commend the timing again of Oh My Venus and the usage of that Cult Altar, waiting for the last possible moment she could use it. And of course, Edward just finding ways to survive and thrive.
Oh, Nap's gonna get locked down here. Not gonna be able to escape that one, even using the final slash. You can see really the focus on the XP lane of RSG here.
Here's what's so difficult about the situation RSG Slate are in right now. Yes, they're losing a lot of the upper quarter fights, but if it paid off by having Eman farm freely, then that would be all right. It would be a good trade. But no, even Owl is barreling down. They only have half health on his tier 1. Oh,
they get the wild charge off here. Oh my Venus gonna flicker out.
Wow.
Can Exort grab the kill? He can't. Meanwhile, the turret was being worked on by Owl. RSG just cannot find that kill they're looking for here. Now 2 members up top side. Naps will save that turret from going down, but meanwhile, bottom will fall.
So the gold laner of Blacklist gets out of lane first. Slight advantage here for Owl.
Oh, Grand Theft Orange!
And Wise takes the buff off Irad. Ice Queen Wand picked up there by Exor should help with securing the kills with those slows. No pull will be found there by Blacklist. 4K gold lead. Slightly getting out of hand here for RSG. But you see them, they're getting to trap Blacklist. They're just lacking the damage. Once they get the damage, the question is, they have the defense because Blacklist at that point already has the damage and is midway through getting most of the defense they would want.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this 6-0 with a 4K almost gold lead for Blacks International is something that RSG Slate have to address immediately. I'm not so sure if it's going to be off of Eman when he gets his farm, or if Exort here with the Impure Rage. I'm wondering if he's hoping that there was a mystery shop so he can get that key item much sooner.
Yeah, that would have been better. I think he was just hoping that the mana might be able to help him stay longer in fights in the map.
Okay, they're going to poke down Blacklist a little bit. Oh, final slash going to miss there from Nav. Still going to be working on the turtle, half health. UA dropping the real world manipulation. Who's going to be able to secure it? It is Wise that grabs it. Looks like RSG's on the defense. The run here. Exort trying to get out from Edward as he does. Blacklist furthering their lead.
Oh, man. It seems to be another story of nothing to hold down the Joy.
Blacklist took away all of the best possible picks, the Franco, the Kaja. Good priority ban. Set everything up for their Joy. Here at the bottom, there's Owl.
Wow, Nav.
Oh, look at
Just going to get deleted. It's Owl City. He's looking for more. won't commit to Irad, but here comes Yue, goes in with the flicker, the Terrified comes through, couple hits away, Owl running to get the kill, now it's Oh My Venus, he's trapped, Irad will fall.
Eventually it still goes into the hands of Owl. You will not believe your eyes when this young man gets into the zone.
And RSG cannot believe this is the situation they find themselves in. It slowly ballooned to a 5,000 gold lead. A story of Blacklist just having the right utility to stay alive, and RSG lacking the damage early on to finish the job. Look at Owl!
Naft once again, the 1 versus 1. He will lose it as Owl gets the kill. Again, Naft struggling here, 0 and 5 on this Arlot, a signature pick of his.
All right, we were talking about how Nat's clutch gene possibly comes in when he gets beaten up.
This is
when
beaten
the
up.
situation is dire. I don't think it's an understatement to say yes, this is getting beaten up.
Welcome to Owl City, a comfort carry pick, a laning stage that, although it was difficult for him, Blacklist got a victory in the bottom lane, in the gold lane for Owl at just the right time. 27,000 damage dealt by him, 26,000 by Edward, 25 for the main man of RSG in this lineup, the Melissa, Eman.
Now the Lord has spawned about 6K at 10 minutes. That definitely feels like about a light year ahead.
Yeah.
Right? No pun intended. Light still playing that Grok. I'm guessing Raiders and the rest of RG Slate in the back are hoping that maybe there's a chance. Oh!
Looking to beat him up some more. Naft's going to go 1 versus 4. Will get taken out. And that's going to be the tier 2 as well, going down for RSG. Blacklist International is relentless against RSG.
So the answer here is, yeah, let's have Nats buy time down bottom so Irad can split push. I wonder what the next step was, if ever that was successful, right? And if eventually they do get tier 1 up top.
At that point, it really was just to find a win, as little as it could be. Oh, look at Wise!
Okay, Irad going to get locked down with a heavy spin. That's too much damage to deal with. Owl will get the kill. And now Blacklist International in a good position to just take this Lord. Edward will force the rest of the team of RSG back. Nav's not going to be able to commit to that one. Lord secured for Blacklist International.
This has gotten out of hand for RSG. Completely dominated in this game number 1. No kills on the side of RSG. Already 3 main items built by Al, all the way up to the DHS alongside the Golden Staff and Corrosion Scythe. Only 2 items built so far for Eman. Exort struggling, only has the Ice Queen wand, still only about to build the Genius wand, while Edward already has a Divine Glaive on him. This Joy, again, it was drafted perfectly for Blacklist to let Edward shine on this role. And he's doing it in flying colors. Irad gets trapped by Wise.
Yep, Irad gonna get locked down once again. Owl grabbing the kill. And that is now another tough situation to be in for RSG as they have the Lord to deal with the bottom side.
Blacks International have taken all of the tools away from the mechanic. There's too much hold. All the angles that Irad can get to have been closed off. He is cordoned off. He is unable to do anything against Wise's Akai.
Right now, Blacklist International might possibly punch this game 1 in. They're looking to get the last inhibitor turret. They've already got 2. No minions, though, to help them get that. But right now, this is just outgunned for RSG.
Outgunned, outmanned, outplanned. The way Blacklist has played here put RSG in a situation that they haven't seen quite yet in this weekend's playoffs. This is the toughest situation RSG Slate has been.
Oh, Eman already have to escape that one. Owl going to be working on the turret, gets it. Looks like they get the discipline call to take off and leave RSG here. Again, scrapping for any type of XP, any type of gold they can find. They're forced to stay together. Light, pretty much the walking vision here for RSG.
The pulls, the real-world manipulation. Edward and Wise together, the patented and signature 3-2 split trade in major objectives, where Edward and Wise will just go to a turtle, while the rest of Blacklist will help their gold laner most likely. And they did that time and time again, and it worked.
It's going to be tough for Light. He has to use the flicker plus the ultimate. Edward, though, look at that, going to whittle down Light. And again, he is that front line for RSG here, and you can see both their front liners having a very difficult time even finding any angle here.
What's happening is Light is trying to check which lanes are free and forcing Blacklist to pay attention to him so waves eventually do crash and Eman can get to them. I believe that's the insurance policy here. You got to hold on, Eman. Times are tough, but when they do, the tough get going.
See if Irad will be able to get the orange buff here. He does. So that's a slight, very, very
Small
slight
victory.
win for RSG. In the grand picture of the solo Exort.
Oh,
is bad.
Edward gonna chase down 2 members of RSG. Exor gonna flicker into his death. UA will grab the kill. Emon falls as well. And now they're just unleashing on the Raiders here. The lockdown comes through. Irad is next. Triple kill for Owl. And once again, Blacklist International is dominant game number 1, 16-0. Now the next target will fall. They take game 1.
Tis but a clean victory for the Codebreakers in the first chapter of this best of 5.
17-0. You're facing the defending champs. We're not gonna make this easy for you, says Blacklist. Dominating, signature, Blacklist International RSG slate could not get anything.
That was rough for all the Raiders out there, for everybody rooting for RSG, man. That was rough to see, because after yesterday's performance, you know, you're thinking again, where is Irad sitting today? Where is Nath sitting today? Right? There was a lot of build up there, and unfortunately, that game 1, hey, they got snuffed out, man. There was nothing that RSG could do in that game.
Irad last night was very different from the Irad here in game 1.
Oh, yes.
I'm hoping that it was more because of the tools given to him. There's a lot of mechanical potential in this young man, and I'm guessing there's still time left to calibrate, all right? Far from match point, but I'd rather that RSG slate get going rather than later, because Blacklist are wasting no time. Let's go ahead and throw over to our solo analyst for him to break it down real quick for us. Talk to us, Midnight.
Maraming salamat, casters. Blacklist International. Mukhang nagpakita ng masterclass dito sa ating game number 1. Simple and clean. It's methodical and surgical. Yan ang naging approach ng agents against RSG Slate Philippines. Welcome back dito sa Analyst Stand. Ako nga pala si Midnight. Na natin idadaysek kung ano ba yung naging story dito ng Blacklist at paano nila na-execute again ang perfect ube strategy against RSG Slate Philippines. Well, let's start off with the draft. I'm actually quite surprised na pinalusot ng RSG yung Joy without any form of control. Nung nakita natin na nakaban yung Franco at nakaban yung Kaja, they opted to go with the Fredrin ban. And it's very considerable nga naman for RSG na tanggalin tong hero na to kasi napakataas ng win rate, lalo sa kamay ni Wise. Pero nung binigay yung Joy sa side ng Blacklist International, nakita natin yung translation into actual gameplay. Sabi ni Edward, wala kayong hold, wala kayong control, akin ang early game. And yan yung naging number 1 problem nila. Number 2 problem nila, alam ng RSG to when they picked up the Arlot against Joy, alam mong mapapahirapan yung XP lane dahil nga kasama yung sa Keys to Victory ng Blacklist kanina and also nakuha ng Blacklist International yung carry. Now, the thing about this matchup is sa team fight, lugi na nga yung Arlot sa carry sa late game and ang problema is hindi pa nakuha ni Nuts yung kanyang victory against the Joy. So, kinailangan nila mag-switch ng lane. Unfortunately, yung lane na pupuntahan niya is essentially a counter to him as well. Walang pakialam yung carry kung gano'ng kakunit yung Arlot kahit gano'ng karaming beses bumalik yung kanyang HP. As long as nandyan yung attack speed, he will be able to shred through the defenses of Nuts. Yan naman ang nature ng carry with the passive and dagdag pa natin dyan yung slows coming up from the corrosion site na una niyang nabili. Also, RSG, they were not able to make any moves and amplify this Lancelot's performance. Most of the time, pag nakakita tayo ng successful Lancelots, sineset up yan ng mga teammates niya, nakakahanap siya ng mga crucial fights. Pero in this case, in a way, parang nag-react din sila sa XP lane dahil nga nahihirapan na si Nuts. And hindi rin nila nagamit yung hero ni Light on the early stages of the game. Nakailang try sila, nakailang bisita sila sa gold lane. And Owl was defended by the Royal Decree. Sabi ng Blacklist International, guys, hayaan nyo si Edward sa may top lane, 1v1 sila doon ni Nuts. Tulungan natin yung ating carry. Kasi ito yung late game assurance natin. And laging nakakatapat ng RSG yung mga heroes ng Blacklist sa may bottom lane. Laging nandun si Oh My Venus, laging nandun si Yue. And ang kinagandahan dito, hindi sila agad nagpapakita kumbaga nakapwesto lang lagi si Yui at si Venus dun sa mga bushes. Once na mag-engage yung RSG, dun lang sila magsasave. Kumbaga, counter-engage yung ginagawa nila dito versus RSG Slate. Philippines and Blacklist International were able to defend their own gold laner. And naganda rin ng mga naging ikot ni Wise. May mga moments na tinulungan niya si Edward dito para lang lalong ma-shot down si Nats. And of course, yung mga Turtle and Lord fights. Paulit-ulit natin nakita yung reset and turn ng Blacklist. And this allowed for an incredible space para sa ating MVP na si The Golden Boy, Owl, on his performance sa carry. Again, naging very crucial yung kanyang early game dito, yung kanyang success. Nakakuha siya ng momentum and nag-translate to into a very quick late game for Blacklist International. And na-secure niya yung ikatlong 17-0 na stat line natin dito sa ating MPL Season 11 against RSG. And nabanggit ko kanina, yung Arlot versus carry matchup, alam na alam to ng RSG Slate Philippines, pero nawala kasi sila ng choice. Hindi rin naman pwedeng itapat mo yung Melissa against Joy kasi pagtitripan lang lalo ni Edward yung Joy kahit pa merong go away. Basta makapasok siya sa loob ng vicinity ni Eman, kahit ipop mo yung go away, ay literal na tatakbo lang din naman yung Joy at wala kang choice kundi i-let go yung chase. Na makita natin dito sa highlights na ilang beses nag-attempt yung RSG na magpunta dong sa lane ni Edward pero the Joy was just too big at that point. And ang daming beses din in-outplay ni Agent Zero yung XP laner ng RSG. One hit na lang, patay na sana siya. And ito yung mga moments na, again, si RSG nagtatry ng maglagay ng band-aid solution against Blacklist International. But what was happening on the bottom lane was much more important for Blacklist to deal with. Kasi ito nga yung late game nila. Mas importante na protektahan nila si Owl at this point. And nung na-hit na ni Owl yung kanyang timing, which is yung first item corrosion site, naramdaman ni Owl na, okay, kahit sino man magpunta rito, pwede ko na labanan. Although, I would say na medyo critical yung choice ni Ira dito to go with the damage, War Axe. I think it's forgivable kasi kapag nag-build ka ng HP item, it's all the same against carry. Pero ang naging problema was wala siyang katulong. He was trying to deal with the carry against himself and at that point, mas snowballed na yung carry. So parang in a way, hindi niya na rin kayang abutin yung damage output na nilalabas ni Owl and hindi rin kinaya tapatan ni Ira. As Wolf has mentioned, hindi na kinaya ng RSG tapatan yung shred na binibigay ni carry. So kahit sinong tumayo sa harapan ng side ng Blacklist International, kumbaga kung may nakaharap, kung may katabi man silang objectives, mas wala na silang paki doon. Mas gusto nila na maubos yung heroes ng RSG para may panalo nila ng teamfight, para makakuha sila ng objectives, and para matapos nila yung game. Again, this was a very clean game by Blacklist International. And I feel like it has to go back to the draft. It has to boil down to those important prio picks between these two sides. Nung nakuha ni Edward yung kanyang Joy, essentially there was one lane na hindi na kailangang intindihin ng Blacklist International. Edward won his XP lane and sabi ng Blacklist, okay, amplify na lang natin yung late game natin para ma-secure natin yung victory in game number 1. Tingnan natin kung makakabawi ba ang RSG sa game number 2. Pero bago lahat, kausapin muna natin ang ating host na si Mara Aquino.
SMX Convention Center! GG!
RSG!
Kasama natin ngayon ang pamilya ni Light. Buong row right here. Okay, let's introduce yourselves and tell us kung anong relationship nyo with Light. Starting with you.
Ay, Poblete po. Pinsan ko po si Light.
Pinsan! Okay.
I'm Emil Katipon, father of Dylan.
Father! Si Father. Hello, Dad.
My name is Lance, older brother po ni Light.
Older brother, magkamukha sila.
Hi, ako si Reggie. Ako ang long-lost brother ni Light
Long lost brother. Magkapatid ba talaga kayo?
sa multiverse.
Sa multiverse?
Yes.
Okay, kayo po.
Hi, I'm Camille. I'm the tita of Light.
Tita! Okay. Lahat po ba kayo naglalaro ng ML?
Di po, nanonood lang.
Nanonood lang.
Nanonood din
Nanonood. Nanonood lang din. Ikaw?
Naglalaro.
Naglalaro. So, magkasama kayo maglaro ng kapatid mo?
I remember nag-start kami mag-play together season 2. Ngayon, during that time, kami nung mga kababata namin naglalaro. And then, kaya from that point, na-witness namin yung progress niya as a player.
Oh, so siya nag-pursue ng pro player. And ikaw naman, bakit hindi ka nag-pursue?
During the time kasi, since papasok yung pandemic noon, nagkaroon ng way para ma-showcase niya yung talent niya, ma-enhance niya. And nang time naman yung kailangan kong mag-focus sa college.
How proud are you that your brother made pro? Dati naglalaro lang kayo sa bahay, nag-aaway kayo. Ngayon, nandito na siya sa stage.
Extremely proud. During the time na papasok pa lang siya sa work, actually sabi ko nun sa mom ko kasi medyo doubtful siya na kung papayagan niya. Sabi ko,
Yung mom mo, doubtful?
yes,
Okay,
kasi
ano sabi mo?
kasi yung mom namin noon before, sabi niya, hindi siya ganun ka-open-minded when it comes to esports. Kaya sabi ko sa kanya noon, I really can tell na ito yung passion niya, ito yung gusto niyang gawin. Kaya may support is talagang boost para sa ma-pursue niya yung dream niya.
So si Mommy ayaw, tapos ikaw yung dahilan kung paano na-convince si Mom.
Kinulit ko.
Ay! Good job! Paano mo siya kinulit? I mean,
Sabi ko malaki yung pera doon.
Daddy, ikaw ba? So si Mommy, hindi daw doubtful daw, medyo natakot. Ikaw, Daddy?
Actually, ako hindi ako doubtful eh. Kasi alam ko yung talent niya. Lagi ko nakikita, go lang silang go. Kaya, sige, go na, go.
So, kayo po hindi naglalaro, si Mommy hindi naglalaro, pero bakit niyo po pinili na suportahan si Light kahit hindi niyo naiintindihan yung laban? I mean, ano po ba na? Okay, perspective actually. Pag nakikita niyo yung screen, di ba? Anong nagka-clash? Ano yung nakikita niyo? Anong interpretation niyo sa nangyayari?
Actually, tinitignan ko lang si Dylan kung nasaan dun sa game na yun. And then, pag nakikita kong maganda yung laro niya, pumapalakpak lang ako.
At hindi po alam na maganda yung laro niya.
Hindi, may mga time na yung...
Pag nakapatay.
Yeah, yung lahat may stop niya, tapos dadating na yung mga kakampi.
When he's able to fully okay, that protect his players is... Ngayon naman po, yung sinano ko po sa inyo kanina, bakit niyo po pinili na supportahan siya kahit wala kayong idea nung nangyayari ngayon?
Actually, sinuportahan ko siya kasi gustong-gusto niya eh. Anytime na pagka yung ayaw namin, siya parang malungkot. Kaya sinuportahan ko na lang.
Ayaw niya malungkot si Light. Daddy's why ba si Light?
Parehas lang, ano?
Nasaan si Mommy? Nasaan si Mommy ngayon? Mommy,
Wala eh,
nasaan ka?
hindi siya kasi nanonood pagka ng game eh. After ng game, tsaka lang siya lumalabas ng kwarto.
So, nagtatago si Mommy sa kwarto pag may laban. Bakit?
Basically, every time na may skirmish or clash, natetense ka siya, nasigaw siya, tapos tatakbo sa kwarto sa loob.
Oh, Mommy, don't worry. Magaling ang inyong anak. Ito po, how tough do you think, ikaw kasi naglalaro eh, how tough do you think this matchup is kontra sa Blacklist International?
It's going to be extremely tough. We need to take into consideration na yung Blacklist kasi world champions sila. And given na kumbaga parang may matindi na rin yung band nila as teammates, talaga magiging challenging siya. Pero based on what I know, RSG is a very resilient team. No matter what happens, they'll be able to bounce back.
Kamukha talaga. Kamukha. Daddy, okay, nandyan si Light ngayon. It's going, sabi nga niya, it's gonna be a tough one. Kung meron kang gustong sabihin kay Dylan, kay Light right over there, what do you wanna tell him?
Alam niya naman yun eh, win-win-win. God bless.
Win-win-win. Ikaw naman, ang gusto mo sabihin?
And always remember na we have your back. Pray hard and play hard.
Ikaw naman.
Ako naman,
Yung brother niya in an alternate universe.
my brother, galingan mo lang. Nandito lang ako para sumuporta sa'yo sa Game 2. Bumawi lang tayo. Let's go!
Eto, now, ayan, magsisimula na ang ating laban. Pwede ba natin iba to sa casters? Kaya niyo po ba? Kayo din, Daddy. Kayo. Si Tita ba? Nagpapasahan. Tita, ikaw naman, casters, pasok.
Casters, pasok.
I have had Light as my player before. I don't think he has a brother who looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I mean, I see the semblance somewhat. Maybe that's why he's the long-lost brother from an alternate universe. Which, by the way, how do we get him here? The flight tickets for that must have been expensive.
Not this timeline.
I'm your guys' long-lost brother.
In what timeline?
That's a consolation.
Yeah, that's...
Before we get back into the matchup, let's all enjoy the
Mom?
power of Smart when you switch to Smart without changing your number via mobile number portability or MNP. Visit smart.ph/switch to Smart to know more. Now, talking about Blacklist International and RSG slate, there's a lot on the plate for Coach Panda and Coach Theo to start fixing up. That's 17-0. Almost nothing on the board for the Raiders.
Ouch.
Where can we start? They got a turret. At least, for sure, they got a turret. That's what I remember.
A turret and a turtle.
And
Yeah.
a single turtle.
Yeah.
But, all right. I don't think I'm putting much on our players here, but they could have done better. I'm pretty sure, starting with the draft.
Yeah.
It was a clear draft victory for Blacklist International. You cannot dispute that. With the picks that they got, the Kaja and Franco taken away. Good news for the Joy with a vengeance.
Great news.
Great news. Akai will make that Lancelot struggle, although it is a quite even duel at times. In that scenario, Wise was just perfect with his heavy spin timing, and then Ira just could barely get objectives, especially when Blacklist would do the 2-3 trade across map. And then, of course, RSG, outside of the draft, going into the game, just look. Although I do like that they were courageous and brave and wanted to make plays, not overly cautious. There were some moments where you could really look at and think RSG just can let this go. They've brought down a member of Blacklist low. They're going to be forced to recall, that's fine, but they still chased for kills, and they got horribly punished for it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is I'm expecting the flip sides here, right? Yeah. So if they get that priority pick, they might want, I don't know if taking the Joy would solve their issues or not, but it's just, yeah, it comes down to just the fundamentals of the draft, really, because we were talking about it when it was unfolding, right? How much focus was actually on Light, and that really showed through the gameplay, that struggle to really utilize the Grok, especially when they were behind for quite a bit.
Yep. More on the ongoing series in just a bit. For now, we're looking for our smart game face of the day. Folks here at SMX, you all know the drill. Flash the hashtag PowerSmart on your devices. Make sure you got a green background going. And when the camera gets to you, show us that game face. And here's this young, dashing gentleman. He's our winner. Folks, you know the drill. He wins a redeemable in-game code. He's just happy to be here.
The entirety of the SMX crowd is chanting for the two good friends to kiss.
Hey, if they're that close,
if they're that close,
no harm.
Might as well.
Lesson for our international viewers. Here's a new phrase for you to learn. When you come here for M5, it's called tropa time.
Tropa time.
Yeah, good times with your friends.
Tropa time.
Yeah, this is tropa time. Offcast, also tropa time.
Yeah, it's a lot of tropa time.
Yeah,
always.
Always.
So, back into the action here. Now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You just leave it hanging there.
Yeah, that's right.
For people to think about what tropa time.
Because tropa time continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Never
meaning
ends.
of tropa time is in enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, we go on. Now, we mentioned how in the draft and in the execution, I'd like to say we go back to the fundamentals, the pandamentals, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Because, again, to be able to solve the Joy problem, that might be trying to go too deep into the details. Maybe just go back into like the macro and look for what makes you who you are. Now, I'd hate to get all sentimental about this, but the players of RSG Slate Philippines didn't look like who they were, right? You would know. You would know.
They didn't look like Raiders. Yeah. I don't know what the opposite of that is, but like
it was whatever. Siradair.
Yeah,
that's backwards.
You just put it backwards.
I was gonna say, I don't know if the answer to everything is just putting it backwards.
I'm getting good at this. All right, I believe we are about to get into the draft. Here we go, game 2. What better way than to put all the thoughts that we mentioned into execution? Indeed, RSG Slate does go back onto the play blue side. Blacklist answering back. If I'm not mistaken, we have some preliminary bans already.
Yeah, RSG, I think with the Estes, the Faramist, good ban, and the Arlot. Now, because Blacklist went Hackalite, RSG can pick up the Joy, which doesn't necessarily need to go into the hands of Nas. It can be a flex pick for RSG in 3 roles, so of course they're going to pick that up. But Blacklist, I'm pretty sure they thought about this already. They can go either Valentina or Eve. Although, again, static artillery mages against Joy, it's a struggle. They're going to need a good amount of root, crowd control. There's crowd control. And there's the 1-1 that was open in the draft. Wasn't picked by RSG. Blacklist pick it up, and the 2 best heroes that you can use to answer the 1-1 was banned by Blacklist.
You have one more out. You can give Exort the Farsa.
Yeah.
Just blow her up.
Yeah, the Farsa. That makes sense. Farsa Lolita might actually be the play here for RSG, just so that they can answer the 1-1. But then I feel like even though that sounds like a bit of an overreaction, come on, we know what Blacklist are gonna ban out in the next two bans if Light doesn't have his hero going to the second phase.
Yeah,
Or
that's why they
Blacklist
need to
can
lock
even
it down.
pick up the Lolita by themselves.
There it is.
So RSG pick it up.
Lolita.
Lolita.
Lolita. You go ahead and pick that in, secure it for Light. We know what happened. There's the Farsa. Like you boys mentioned, good high IQ gaming in the draft right now.
If I know Dexter, if I know Dylan, and if I know Brian, that's where it's going to go.
That's where it's going.
Brian is Coach Panda for,
Yeah.
for
I was going to say, some people are like, who's Brian?
Who are these?
Who's Dylan?
First name basis? Really?
Yeah,
All right.
They have first names, guys.
All right. Here we go. The Valentina to answer again the big ticket ults.
Yeah.
And a comfort for you, eh?
Yeah, and that means there is a Numenon blast on the side of Blacklist International. The roamer here is probably, I think RG is going to ban out the Matilda later on.
You know, the every time that I see this kind of across from each other, the Lolita and the Valentina, I always get worried because we had some of that in the regular season where, you know, you're looking, your job is so much harder when you're working against a Valentina because you could easily just get canceled out with a Terrifying.
True.
And that is so, you know, Light's probably the best one to do that, to work around with, but still I feel like Blacklist International will also play around that, right? They will try to force some of those situations where they have that advantage where Light, yes, 100%, he's going to have to rely on the Bush, Noon on Blast setups with the Flicker. So if they burn the Flicker early on or something, they know that they don't have to worry so much because in the back of their hands, they've got the Terrify mechanic to work with.
Okay, so RSG, will they ban the Akai or the Guinevere? Because I'm thinking or the Matilda. Because the Guinevere looks great for Blacklist International alongside the Matilda. The Matilda usually gets picked up by Blacklist International in these scenarios. They're up against a Farsa. And let's see if that'll be the player for Blacklist. RSG, the options were presented. They took away the Lancelot. Fredrin is still actually in the table here.
Yep.
So Fredrin, Matilda, as the last two picks of Blacklist sound good. RSG might look to take away one of them, but know that the Guinevere is still in the pool for Blacklist. If not the Gwyn, maybe even the Alice in the jungle makes a comeback.
Something tells me they should take out the Fred.
The Fred,
There it is. Not here, Fred.
Not tonight. All right, so does that mean Wise is forced to play either the Baksha or the Barat? Yo, Barat's Matilda doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, the Barat's Matilda. Classic combo as well for Blacklist International. But it's the Baksha. You pose the Baksha up there. Fast rotations here.
I'm 3 letters off.
How is RC going to match this? Well,
last 3 letters.
Yeah, last three. Close.
I like phonetics.
I was going to say, you're so good with letters. I can't think that fast enough to reverse words and then come up with this with this saying, but
acronyms are funny.
You know,
weren't you a teacher before?
I was, but
not that kind.
not that kind. Not that kind. We didn't do that in my classroom.
That's generalization, man.
Well, maybe that's you should have taught it.
No.
RG's late. Come on.
No, Redmar. I was helping.
Martis.
He's not letting you.
Their Wayfleer's fine.
All right.
Oh, they're hovering at Turizla. I like this. Turizla Eve. What? No. What?
Turizla carry.
Oh, it's a carry.
It's a JJ.
Okay.
It's a JJ.
Yep. Joy Jungle.
Okay.
So it comes down to the character of one young Irad. John Tuazon likes heroes that dash.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm with it.
I think it's gonna work great. The JJ, the Jungle Joy. The one thing that I'm wondering about is this the Matilda that's going to be locked in here? Because
I like it.
Hey, that mobility, man.
Go old school.
Old school.
100% in the playoffs.
100%, yeah.
Yep, in the few times it showed up.
In before Oh My Venus surprises us and picks up an Atlas. Which honestly sounds really good here.
Yeah.
Excuse the way you play.
Oh,
it's a Florin.
All right.
The president of the anti-healing club.
So, like, Florin for playoffs hasn't had the best showcase,
It's
right?
been spotty.
Yeah,
But
spotty.
At best.
Spotty, but when Florin came out for the debut, it was Oh My Venus that played it, right?
Yeah.
I think during the regular season. So we get to see it in action once again here. With this lineup, though, it's very interesting to see how it's going to work.
I've manifested this hero for years. Upon her release,
Florin.
I believe I said, yo, this is built for Oh My Venus. And we have not been so blessed to see her play this as often as we thought we would.
Yeah, it took us a long road until
Yeah.
we actually got to see the first game of Oh My Venus in the MPL as a floor, and that was earlier this season. But as we look at the draft, the Terizla pickup, it's just there for a wave clear and the penalty zone. That'll be the job of Nats up against the glue of Edward. He gets a lot of regen from the mini glues once that up, so there's a tanky presence on the side of RSG to hold the front line. The Lolita will provide the shielding. Exort needs to have godlike positioning here, and if he can, maximize the stun to force an early needles and flowers out of the 1-1, which should be one of the main goals of RSG slate. If he can trigger that key ability out of the 1-1 in the situation where he doesn't want to use it, that'll be great for them. And the ever-consistent Queen, after winning the previous game, Oh My Venus, is now third in terms of overall wins in MPL PH career.
They're back to the usual XP lane rotation, as you can see. They did the same thing, man. They're pressuring Nats, but it looks like Nats is better off this time. I think he's okay. He survived the minute gut check.
And this rotation by Blacklist just ensures that Oh My Venus always most likely will be level 4 by the time the first turtle comes up, and Yue as well will have level 4. So we've been seeing it since the Brent Esports matchup yesterday that the roamer that Blacklist international is up against is always a level or at least quarter of a level behind of level 4.
Yeah, and I think this is just a better start, right, in terms of there wasn't so much pressure on the XP lane that they had to deal with, but they got to be careful, especially in moments like this.
Oh.
So Irad going to be fine, but once again, all this kind of poking back and forth, fighting for any lead that they can really find leading into that first turtle.
Okay, besides passing the first minute gut check in the XP lane, I think RSG are doing much better given the fact that this lineup scales much, much better early to mid. Like earlier, they were so top heavy. To be honest, they were very top heavy. Now, they have, again, Eman on the carry. They have Irad, who has a mystery shop, so should scale well as long as he's farming at least a moderate amount. Already looking better for the Raiders.
Unevolved flower actually on the hands of Edward, given to him by the Florin. Oh, who can get this first turtle? Positioning of Yue, very good right now for a Numenon Blast. RSG needs to get vision, they get it.
Yep, Light has it. Yue also has the Numenon Blast here, so there goes the penalty zone. They're going to set up. Wise goes in from around the corner. First blood going to the hands of Wise. Yue will fall, though. Wow. And Turtle will reset on top of it. Now still going to be going Edward, holding on to Light. Light will survive for now.
Dash.
And now still the focus on Edward this time. Can't get away. Irad with the kill.
But this whole time, look at Dannery. He's committing Grand Theft Orange. I wonder if Irad is aware.
Buff down. Turtle, let's see if RSG can get it to balance out the fact that the orange buff of the Joy is gone. And RSG will get the first turtle of the game, plus 2 kills.
Okay, so they secure the turtle finally after all of that. Like Leo mentioned, Wise, though, able to take the buff from Irad. So he did have the 2 kills. I don't think he's too worried so much about the buff for now, but we'll see if he can actually play with this advantage that they have.
I see what Irad is doing. I believe this should be a,
That's the advantage I was talking about. He's going to go ahead and take down Oh My Venus. Now on the run here, Wise trying to find some revenge. The lineup from UA goes in with a Numenon Blast. Not going to find it, though. Erad's still on the run. A dash and a dash. And he will survive.
He used the most of the rhythm and beats immune CC window. That was amazing.
Owl under the feathered airstrike. Going to look for Emon. Gets the crossbow of Tang off. And in a situation where he was outnumbered, comes out on top. Now Naz going in with the penalty zone, 1 versus 2. Wise and Edward waiting for Irad to get there, but will be a little bit too late. Edward goes in with a split, will be cut off a little bit. Irad gets the flicker out. Still going to be committing here, uses the beats, gets the kill with the retribution as well.
Seems like this series might boil down to who gets the Joy will get a good time. Because Irad right now, 4 kills on this Joy.
Oh, 4.
Oh, 4 of it.
Only for John.
John's his name?
John Tuazon.
Okay, I thought it was, for a second there, I really thought John.
I've gotten fond of the young jungler, but wait, Wise, they're trading this top lane tier 1 for the buff, and eventually they'll trade hard. No, but this still has shields.
Yeah, they're putting some pressure across map here. Feathered Airstrike going to be used by UA.
Oh!
Exort in response as well. The full plate of those golds are gone now on the bottom side, but they trade top.
That's a lot of money in Owl's pockets, man. He's eating good.
Yeah, this 1-1 will be a problem later on. But we've seen before how Blacklist International deals with 1-1s. Light just needs to really time his shield really well. And they need to layer their crowd control abilities well enough. And once the 1-1 ultimate has been expended, that is your time to turn. Conserve your abilities. Irad might get caught out here.
Irad, 3 members, going to be forced to use the ultimate out of there. Still looking for that turtle. Going to be pulled and started. Half Belgian Flicker comes in with the Doom on Blast. They do find Waz. Penalty zone to follow, but the damage not there just yet. Turtle secured, but Light will fall to an objective that they take. Meanwhile, still in the mid lane, UA in trouble. Irad going to go in. He jumps in, dashes through, gets the kill. He's unstoppable. Now going to be working on Owl. Owl will be fine, but Irad has lost his purple buff as well.
What's the count now? 3 buffs stolen by Wise so far?
Yep, 3 buffs, but all 5 kills on the hands of RSG come from the hands of Irad. And even Wise wins the battle.
Ow.
In the mid!
Getting
Exort!
Dunked on with the Feathered Airstrike.
And just like that, as we say, the action just keeps going, man. I think this is exactly what RSG wants to be. It's a messy team fight everywhere.
This aggression that RSG is playing with, despite being dominated in that game number 1, this is what you want to see from RSG. If you are a Raider and if you are a fan of our sport, you'd want to see a team that just gets dominated, fight back like this. This makes the story, the series, all the more interesting as we look at the items. Corrosion Scythe and Demon Hunter Sword already built by Owl. Second item should be coming up in just a bit for Eman. So the struggle of Eman in lane somewhat balanced now by the efforts of the other members of RSG. Exort's timing with the stuns alongside Irad's entries. Of course, Light's Numenon blasts. They just need to time and layer their abilities perfectly.
Best case scenario, what RSG Slate wants for Blacklist to do is to answer back. They want Blacklist to get scrappy as well, because in that realm, in that situation, RSG just win about 9 out of 10 times. But it's so far, in the 7-minute game, 7 minutes, 30 seconds, Blacklist have been picking their fights.
Yeah, like they're trying to do here too, right? The crazy thing about this, with Irad having pretty much the majority of the kills in gold in his favor right now, if he does get shut down, that's going to be a big pickup for Blacklist International. So you see them kind of avoiding that, right? They just go ahead, get a little bit more space to work with as they took the tier 1 in the bottom side, but they trade it for the turtle plus the tier 2 in the top lane.
He will make like a piñata. Once the code breakers get to that joy, I'm guessing if they put it to Owl or they give it to UA, ooh, that's a lot of good.
A lot of candy, a lot of sweets, but life looks sweeter for RSG right now. Blacklist International are getting wins by opening up space in the map for themselves, making the right call. They're avoiding the scrappiness, the fights that RSG wants to take against Blacklist International by splitting the map instead. And they're just waiting for the right time, and once they feel confident that Owl has his items, but look at Irad.
Yeah, he's going to poke down Owl a little bit here. You got to respect that damage too. He does have, I believe, that Holy Crystal is the last item he picked up a couple minutes ago. So, you know, this is just RSG kind of playing with that advantage they have. They also have the space advantage like you mentioned, but all this will lead into that first Lord. So if Blacklist International takes up a kill, possibly a shutdown if they can get it, it gives them some of that momentum back. But right now it's just RSG having a much better game too here.
That's right. RSG is going with the zoomies, let's just say.
Yeah.
They want to go ka-chow. But for Blacklist International, it's a game of inches. Oh my goodness.
Feathered Airstrike going to come down. He also used the Retribution. They get the heal out. Irad going to get stunned, though. A little overextended, and the kill goes to UA. And you see that, too. Big defensive items being picked up here for Owl and Edward.
The animation of the penalty zone was stopped by the stun of the floor, and actually was got off. Nas couldn't jump. The animation didn't jump forward. It stuck to where Nas was standing. That would have been a sure kill onto Oh My Venus, but just unfortunate for RSG. Good response by Blacklist.
Al just going in. Exort going to fly out a little bit with the wings by wings. Penalty zone.
That's smart.
Not going to...
Cheeky.
Yeah. Not going to work for him that time.
All right.
Made like a bird and flew out of the map.
Yep.
Given how Irad played the first 8 minutes, he always had the rhythm and beats in check so he can get away. This time around, he didn't.
One of the things to consider as well.
That's what caught him off.
I think Blacklist have just found a timer for them. Irad, look at him, so brave, just trying, but he's going to get trapped.
Oh, he's going to get stunned here. Too much CC. Irad will fall. Biting a little bit too much off. And now that's the signal. Blacklist International flip the game in their favor. Will start up the Lord here. The heals come out as well. RSG might have to just give this one up. Still going to be fighting for it. Al goes in, zoning them out a little bit. UA takes quite a few hits. Lord will be secured by Wise. Irad going to have to check himself here. Now they're on the defense.
That opened up just because Irad was caught out by Blacklist International. It looked like the right play to send them back, but with Wise already in shield unity form, he did not hesitate to go to the mid, stun Irad, and Blacklist just finished off the jungler of RSG. Now RSG's early game lead that they found, they'll now have to play from behind and from the defense.
Man, Irad has to step on the clutch a little bit. He went a little too fast in the first 10 minutes, and then right now, I hate to say it, but slowly he's showing signs of burnout. He needs to slow down and then wait until the rest of RSG slate are ready to respond. He can't go in too deep alone.
Yeah, just because you're playing, you know, someone like this Joy, who is very kind of finicky and evasive, you can still get layered upon layered of CC, and that kind of just takes you out of the picture, right? So you need time for Emon to really farm up here. You had an amazing early game, you know, into the mid game even, but you got to let the rest of the team catch up here. So they handle the Lord as they should, but right now it's completely flipped in favor for Blacklist International. Now they're the ones with almost a 3K lead.
Here it is again. Oh, careful now.
You know, you're going to be giving your teammates a bit of a heart rate spike.
Okay, all right,
with how he's positioning himself.
He gave us one.
Yeah. Now RSG, I mean, it is still close enough for them to swing back, but again, it'll boil down to them just really taking their time, picking the right moment, picking the right fights.
Yep. Big team fights, RSG has that as well. It's not just how the little skirmishes off of Irad can start. They have Light with the Numenon Blast. He's made a career out of catching 3, 4, even 5 members with his Numenon Blast. So let's see, it's about the 12-minute mark. Big Lord's Dance should trigger that.
Yeah, skill conservation, because even though it looks good to just put down everything onto every member of Blacklist, if they're in the right position, they still have to leave enough room to make room for Emon. Oh, here comes Blacklist for the chase.
Yeah, looking for the cutoff here. Wise going to find Light. They get the flicker out. Now they're on the run here, but unto they go. Exort still trying to fire off. Won't find it. Light falls. The next one's going to be Nats. 2 fall for the Raiders. Irad trying to buy some time. Blacklist International in a split second decide to come in with their own counterpunch from the pressure on the tier 2.
Unfortunate. The angle that RSG were looking for was maybe a second or two late to be able to be anchored onto.
And Exort just decided to try and use the feathered airstrike to take down Oh My Venus in the back. Yeah, just for salvaging. But Oh My Venus already has the right items to survive through the onslaught of that. Now RSG again pick the right moments and really watch their positioning, because Blacklist could just be looming as 4 anywhere in the corner, anywhere nearby, and they did exactly that with a quick response to help out Edward in the bottom lane.
Lord Dance began. Oh, here's the gauge.
They're already going to give the green light here. Feathered airstrike going to come down. Emon trying to unleash in the backside. Irad goes, forcing UA back, but Light will fall. Irad on the run. Edward goes down as well. The 1-for-1, the roll for the XP. Lord still going to be juggled between both teams here. but Irad quite low. Going to be very risky for him to fight this one.
There's also still an ultimate on the 1-1 for Blacklist International. No more feathered airstrike here for RSG. Not good news for the Raiders. Could be another Lord here without a problem for Blacklist. And they found Irad again.
Oh, Irad going to get chased down. Bobsy weaves, but he's not going to be able to get away. Buys a little bit of time, but will fall. Now a Blacklist International still in a position. Emon trying to buy some time, make the most out of it. He gets Oh My Venus, but will fall himself. Now it's Nats and Exort on the defense. They got to give up this Lord. Blacklist International once again, time and time again, comes out on top.
Outplayed and outgunned for RSG in that scenario. Al so far having the series of his life. From an amazing performance earlier to now on the 1-1. Timing of the crossbow of Tang, the reason why the Winter Truncheon was popped immediately by Irad was because he had the crossbow of Tang mark on him, and he thought at that moment that's when Al will let it go, but Al conserved it. His sidesteps to avoid the key abilities of RSG have been crucial to the success of Blacklist.
Y's been doing that pretty much this entire game number 2. Just taking buffs, taking resources. Now they're taking turrets, getting space. And RSG has to deal with the Lord top side.
Taking buffs, getting stunts off at the right time. He's like a roamer with how he places Baksha. Wise is a definite unsung hero of this game. A tremendous performance by the King of the Jungle.
Turret top going to go down here, still going to hold on. They're going to clear it out just now. Put base slightly exposed here for RSG. And they find themselves in a similar fashion from before where they've got to defend. They got something. Something has to happen here. Something has to break for RSG in this match.
So far, Blast International have denied the angles that Light are so good at finding, right? So I'm guessing if it's going to have to come down to it, if the clapback, if the shrinking of this gold lead is going to happen for RSG Slate, it's got to happen inside the base. Like, you just have to find that 2-man, 3-man. I'm being very conservative here. Numen and Blast. Because Blacklist is not having any of it.
Not at all. Even when they do get set up, the Blacklist just has the sustainability survive through whatever RSG can dish out. The timing of Exort and Light's ultimates together will be crucial. But the space, and look at the sandwich. RSG has to be careful here.
That's just a little drive-by from Wise.
But Light, way too deep.
Light going to have to go on the defense here. This team's going to have to respond. He already flickers out. There's the feathered airstrike. Goes in. UA lands. The Numen Blast, and Exort will be punished. And now it's Nas taking the brunt of the damage. Irad trying to run away. Edwards, Immortality, and Wise will pop. Emon survives the fight.
Good owl.
So only Exort will fall there. Quite messy. Everybody's splitting in different directions. But RSG, they only lose one.
Yeah, and Blacklist read Light's tendency to be in a very off angle so well. I actually didn't even realize Light was there, but that's classic RSG, classic Light, to put himself in places that you don't expect for him to be, and then you just get set up, and he might get set up here and get burned down.
That looks like at least he's able to survive, but Irad gonna go in 1 versus 3. That's tough. He will fall. Now Owl getting the crossbow of Tang. He's got airtime. Nas with the penalty zone will go down as well from UA. 3 fall for RSG Slate.
Here's the reason why RSG were forcing the issue. They only had the immortality window to work with. If they let Blacklist build up back and let them do exactly this, then it's too late. And I think, oh no, Blacklist knows.
I think this is going to be too late here. They go in, looking to cap off game number 2. The crystals being worked on. Owl will lock in, and they take game 2.
A roar from Owl and the entirety of Blacklist. The management, the entire team celebrate. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. But as the crowd says, one more win, and Blacklist will see the world and seal their grand final slot this season.
RSG Slate picked up a few things from game 1. But it seems like mid-game 2, they suddenly just go, all right, what can we do with this now? And they forgot, and it's just that window of I'm not so sure, a lapse of judgment or a lack of direction. You know how like you get confused for like a second?
Yeah.
Blacklist just took that and punished hard.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest reasons why Blacklist counter-punished so well is the Terrify from you and his timing, maximizing the two that Valentina can dish out.
Yeah.
And maximizing his dashes as well, the wisps that come out with a dash. You, again, we talked about Wise as an unsung hero, definitely in this game. Owl doing really well, but you, his timings as the Valentina was massive here for Blacklist, and it's one of the biggest reasons that stopped RSG from finding their flow.
I just think, you know, it's tough to deal with UA. Now you got a lot here to check off. They're now at, what, match point. And yes, it looked like there was a little bit of life there for RSG, but still, they got to recollect because they're running out of time with this, being at match point. And also, like you mentioned, I think, you know, Irad just needs to settle in a little more and take that disciplined approach. He had a great start.
Yep.
But mistakes will be punished for teams, especially against a team like Blacklist International.
We're going to have a full, just whole segment to talk about exactly how it went sideways for RSG Slate here. Because, yeah, it's not a secret that this is one of the best starts for a Joy in the jungle, right? So I'm going to leave it over to Midnight to tell us exactly the story of Game 2. Because, honestly, it was in RSG Slate's hands. How did Blacklist claim it back? Midnight, talk to us.
Isang match na lang for Blacklist International. And they might punch their way towards Cambodia. Once again, welcome back dito sa ating analyst stand. Ako nga pala si Midnight. And grabe yung performance na pinakita ng Blacklist. Again, masterclass na nga. Mas masterclass pa ng game number 2. And para i-breakdown yan, kailangan ko ng tulong kaya ni-invite ko rito sa ating stage si Coach Scholar from TNC. Coach Scholar, kamusta ka naman?
Hello, hello. Okay naman.
Ganda ng boss ni Coach Scholar, grabe. Isang karangalan na makasama ka rito sa ating analyst stand.
Thank you.
Ano bang masasabi mo sa naging match between Blacklist and RSG Slate Philippines?
Sobrang makikita natin kung gaano ka galing yung Blacklist na mag-maximize ng mga error ng kalaban.
Most of the time, hindi natin nakikita yung 1-1 no, na napipick. Ano sa tingin mo yung idea ng RSG dito? Bakit pinalusot nila yung 1-1 ng Blacklist International?
Usually kasi simula nung regular season, yung Blacklist yung nag-open ng 1-1 sa pool, sa draft.
So parang advantage siya kanila if ma-open. Kasi kanina parang nalasan sila no, na may condition kasi tayo tinatawag. Parang nung game 1, natakot yung RSG sa Joy. Ngayon nagkaroon sila ng chance makuha yung Joy and nakuha pa rin ng Blacklist yung kanilang 1-1. Gaano ba kalaki yung effect nung 1-1 dito sa game na to?
Siguro actually, nung early, hindi mo masyado nararamdaman yung 1-1. Nagpa-farm lang siya. Siguro, nagkamali lang din talaga yung RSG. Bandang 9-minute mark, si Irad, napalalim siya, and then napanish siya. Tapos, after nung mapanish siya, yung gold lead ng RSG nawala.
Oh, so may turning point pagdating ng 9-minute mark. And actually, gusto ko i-point out dito, yung adjustments na ginawa ng RSG, they did naman, however, to try to adjust against Blacklist. Kasi, si Farsa bumili ng Enchanted Talisman muna and bumili din siya ng cooldown boots. I think it's to yung makapag-provide ng aerial support. Yung ultimate nga against the 1-1. Pero bakit nga ba hindi nag-work to for RSG? Ano tingin mo yung mga mishaps coming up from the Raiders? Bakit nag-pop off pa rin yung 1-1? Kasi usually ba parang yung Farsa, enough of a counter na
Siguro nga yung mga error ng RSG na napapalalim sila, si Irad tsaka si Light, madalas sila yung napapalalim. Nache-check sila ng Blacklist.
So would you say it's more of Blacklist's way of defending nung early to mid game? Medyo iba din kasi yung parang movements ng Blacklist. So parang may mga times na nakikita natin silang hyper-aggressive, pero may times na pag alam nilang kailangan nilang protektahan si Owl, laki silang sama-sama Ito na ba yung defensive ube ng Blacklist?
Siguro ito yung sinasabi nilang new ube.
Kumbaga parang bagong identity ng Blacklist. Parang dati, yung King, si Wise ngayon, parang protect the King naman and ang kinalalabasan si Owl na.
Si Owl.
Wow. May iba na ang Blacklist International in this game. Again, RSG, they had the right tools and I feel like medyo may mga counter-intuitive picks lang on their side. Kasi usually, we don't see teams picking up the carry against the 1-1. Pero sa tingin mo ba, bakit ito yung naging priority ng RSG versus Blacklist International? Kasi crucial dito yung presence ng carry.
Ano ulit yun?
Yung presence ng carry. Ano sa tingin mo bakit nila pinik to for the side of RSG?
Yung carry pick ng RSG. Siguro pang na lang din sa backshot pick ng Blacklist.
So
Pang
parang
tunaw.
naging reactive yung RSG Slate Philippines. There you have it, MVP of this game for the side of Blacklist International. It's the Golden Boy. Welcome to Owl City, ika nga, with a 1-1 performance, 4-1-8, 86% kill participation. And gusto ko i-highlight dito yung defensive choice niya, yung pagbili niya ng Athena Shield. Gano'ng kalaki yung impact nito para sa game ng Blacklist?
Syempre yung hero pick kasi na Farsa, para hindi siya basta-basta mababurst pag binagsakan siya ng Farsa.
Ganda nung ganda nung naging sagot coach kasi parang sa Exort ganun din yung idea kaya siya bumili ng Enchanted Talisman.
Para easy siya, ang tawag dito, easy poke.
Oh, para ma-pick off kagad. Pero sabi ni Owl, bili ka agad ako Athena Shield para walang sense yung feathered airstrike. And aside from yung Athena Shield, ang important din dito I feel like pansinin yung target selection ng Blacklist International. Mostly nagre-revolve to sa front line, which is likely gonna be Irad kasi siya yung Joy. Yung 1-1 parang ginamit nila as a bait in a way sa side ng Blacklist International. Usually ba ganito yung play style kapag 1-1 comp yung kalab mo? Or ano pa ba how do you counter this? Kasi parang sa side ng Blacklist International, hindi nga sobrang offensive nung 1-1. Kumbaga, siya yung nag-i-enact as bait para ma-bait out yung RSG. Paano mo ba lalabanan to if you're RSG?
Siguro tawag dito, balansin lang nila yung pagiging aggressive nila kasi nung early naman nasa kanila yung lead nung game. Sadyang nasobrahan lang sila sa pagiging aggressive kaya sila na-punish ng Blacklist.
Yeah, which did happen nung nabanggit mo kanina yung 9-minute mark nung na-pick off si Irad. And nagkaroon ng stop dun sa momentum ng RSG. Now, would you consider na may chance pa naman yung RSG sa late game considering this type of lineup?
May chance naman, kaso sobrang lang din talaga ang lakas mag-maximize ng Blacklist sa mga error ng ginawa ng RSG.
Maybe because defensive ube strategy. And ang masarap i-point out dito yung movements ni Wise. I would say parang siya yung nakikita kong king na medyo selfless. Kasi ilang beses natin nakita si Wise na laki na sa frontline, willing mag-commit ng kanyang buhay. Ang daya din kasi nung backshot. Yung kapag nagamit niya na yung ultimate niya, yung Tortoise Poisons, if you're RSG, tapos nakikita mo yung backshot na rumorolyo, ano ba dapat ginagawa ng RSG to deal with Wise? Considering na may 1-1 pa silang kalaban.
Para sa akin, pa-atras lang talaga yung pwede nilang gawin.
So in a way, parang pagdating na late game pala for RSG, mahihirapan talaga sa kaya.
Mahirap talaga, dahil din talaga sa 1-1 pick.
So would you say this was a draft problem for RSG Slate Philippines?
Sa akin hindi. Lang din talaga, yung mga error lang nila.
So early game talaga. Very crucial yung early game. And that is it for Coach Collar. Very important nga yung early game for RSG Slate Philippines. Kasi nakita natin na nagka-momentum yung Blacklist International pagdating nung error na sinasabi ni Coach kanina ng 9-minute mark. And kanina naman, nakikita natin na may glimmer of hope coming off from RSG Slate Philippines. Now, for siguro last few adjustments coming into Game 3, ano ba yung tingin mong dapat i-adjust ng RSG?
Starting siguro sa draft. Kailangan nila pag-isipan mabuti yung gusto nilang ibigay na hero. Isa na kay Oh My Venus.
Wow. So, pwede nilang i-bait yung Blacklist on game number 3. Tingnan natin kung yan ang gagawin ng RSG mamaya sa kanilang game number 3 or if magiging successful ba ang Blacklist International sa kanilang campaign. Abangan natin yan mamaya. Pero bago lahat, kausapin muna natin ang nag-iisang very own Odin ng MPL PH.
Thank you so much para sa wonderful analysis na yon, Midnight and Coach Scholar. Pero bago yan, Agents Magingay! Ayan! 2 points na ang Blacklist International. And ramdam ko yung dagundong sa seat ko. Dahil sobrang daming agents today, halos pinuno nila tong SMX Convention Center. And here with me ay ang kanilang buff ngayon, ang Blacklist Academy. Ayan, kasama natin si Coach Lembot, si Rindo, and si Dom. Ayan. Kumusta naman po ang ating mga players? Kumusta naman?
Okay lang naman po.
Kinakabahan ka ba for Blacklist International?
Hindi naman.
Hindi naman. Hindi naman daw siya kinakabahan. Pero bagay, tatanungin ko muna si Dom. Dom, ikaw daw ang pinaka-consistent na player sa MDL team nyo and ikaw din ang XP-laner. So parang si Edward yung katulad mo dito sa Blacklist International, no? Tingin mo ba makukuha na ni Edward yung Hall of Legends na award bukas?
Sa tingin ko si Edward, sure, All of Legends na yan. Idol ko yan.
Idol mo si Edward. So, name-mentor ka ba ni Edward?
Nabibigyan naman niya ako ng mga
Oh, wow. Nabibigyan ni Edward ng tips. Yan. At ikaw naman, Aeon. Ay, sorry, Rindo. Medyo magkamukha sila parehong pogi. Ano? Rindo, sabi nila, nag-step up daw kayo sa regular season ng MDL Philippines dahil kayo ang tumalo sa 10-game win streak ng Game Lab. Tingin mo ba ngayon dito sa MPL, nag-step up rin yung Blacklist International from regular season to playoffs?
Para sa akin, nag-step up talaga sila. Tapos, para sa akin, ang layo ng laro nila compared sa nung regular season. Tapos, I think, malaga din yung, yung naging two-week break nila. Nakapagbatak sila ng sobra at yun yung pinapakita nila ngayon.
So, parang na-recharge sila nung 2-week break, no? At ngayon, pinapakita talaga ng Blacklist International yung effect sa kanila ng pagpapahinga at pag-grind everyday. And ngayon, balik ako sa iyo, Dom. Sabi nila, kayo daw ang naglaglag sa RSG Ignite sa playoffs with a 2-0 sweep. Tingin mo ba, same yung magiging result ngayon dito sa MPL Philippines? Masisweep ba nila tong larong to?
Sa tingin ko kasi nasa momentum din sila.
Oh, nasa momentum. Yes, of course. Gusto ko sanang tanungin si Coach Lembot pero wala daw siyang boses ngayon. And ano naman message mo ngayon para sa Blacklist International?
Good luck guys. Galingan nyo. Isa na lang. MSC na.
Uy, isa na lang. Ticket na para sa MSC. Pero bago tayo mag-throw sa ating casters, pwede ba namin kayo marinig mag-chant for Blacklist International? Yan. 3, 2, 1.
Blacklist!
Blacklist!
Break the code.
Isa na lang. Blacklist!
Break the code!
Thank you very much. Blacklist Academy again. This is your very own Odin. Balik muna sa inyo, casters.
Nice to hear from the extended family of Blacklist International. Back on stage at your service, my name is Leo. Here with Weber Bros, Naisu, and Renmar Santa Cruz calling the action. And just like that, we're at match point.
It's been rough for all the Raiders out there. And, I feel like it's kind of weird when you look at Game 1, how dominant it was. Game 2, they had a good start. Now you're wondering, where's Game 3 for them?
It's incoming. But before we continue this matchup, we would like to ask for all of y'all to support our Seaball men and women MLBB delegates in the upcoming 32nd SEA Games. Happening from May 11 to 14th in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Go for gold. Hashtag muling lumakad matatag. Meaning, let's walk strong again. Because we've been doing that since what? In MLBB 2019 now?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, still going strong. And our representatives, of course, most of them coming from the Brand Esports squad, knocked out of the playoffs here. But watch out, world. That's even more fuel to the fire for Team Philippines, for Team Seaball.
Yeah. Silver lining for the gold medal. Yeah. They have more time to focus now.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically you can look at it that way, right? It's unfortunate to see them bow out of the playoffs, but now they've got time to prep up for the SEA Games, and now we've got time to talk about Game 3, how we can possibly get us to a Game 4 and 5, hopefully, right? Because right now, man, I am not hoping for a sweep here. I don't think anyone, I think a big group of people are not hoping for a sweep, right?
There's
because
more people who don't want to see a sweep.
Yes, and
I think.
Especially at this point, because, man, so far, though, I just got to say, this is a different Blacklist International from what we saw in the regular season to where they are now, up to this point in the playoffs, and how clean their gameplay, their shot calling, everything, even the drafting looks.
And let's see if there will be adjustments made to the draft The last time they were in these sides, still following the same pattern. Last ban here for Blacklist International might actually be the Kaja.
Yes.
For RSG slate, could be the 1-1. And then instead of the Fredrin, maybe something else.
The Eve.
The Eve looks good.
Oh.
Just to not give it. Oh, they still decide that the Faramis is an even bigger problem. So 1-1 still up there in the table. Let's see if that'll be the last ban for RSG. Well, Blacklist, Kaja Franco ban again really does sound good.
Likely the Kaja, and then they're going to threaten the Joy.
Yeah. The Blacklist will first pick the Joy, or if RSG decides to go in a different route and ban the Joy last, it'll be a decision by Blacklist. Are we going to pick the 1-1? Are we going to pick the Joy? And then RSG just can pick the other.
Yep. You can change the names, change the faces, but this is old school Blacklist International. Iteration after iteration until you succeed, and that's what's been working for them.
I love how, in a way, though, too, even from the previous game, like, you see those classic Blacklist International picks, and they still find a way to make them work. I mean, the Baksha is not a jungle pick that you see often, but when it's picked by Wise, the man who has pretty much brought it to the forefront for a great option in the jungle, and the way that they play around that, the way that the dynamic of the rotations change with just a single hero, the Baksha, it works so well. And again, that was Florin being successfully used, right? Who we haven't, again, seen work out really well for other teams. So last ban's going to be the Wanwan here. This is most likely just, what, Joy's secured priority pick probably for Blacklist International.
Yeah, it'll be a massive flex by Blacklist if they don't even pick up the Joy. They pick up something else like a Valentina or a Fredrin, and it just gives RSG like 2 really strong power picks there. And then if they do later on go on to win the game, that's a flex. But I'm still in the camp that RSG should have taken that gambit of just leave both open, because you're secured one or the other. And now you're put in a position where it's like this. Earlier, they first picked the Eve alongside the Lancelot. They can go, instead of the Eve, they can pick up the Valentina and Arlott here instead if they want to play a little bit safer and just get 2 strong power picks as well.
Yep, I'd like to second the motion. The game 1 first pick on the red Lancelot may have come a little too early with a premature pick there.
Yeah.
So, Arlott definitely has to be one of these. No doubt. Unless, there's no reason to rush the Arlott because you already know the XP lane on the other side. So, this makes sense.
Yeah. Ferdinand and Valentina. if Blacklist has a jungle Joy, this is their time to show it off.
The flex.
The flex.
From out of nowhere.
I mean, at this point, just start. You can flex. A wise mouth there on master the basics. Seems like there's a light air to Blacklist today. There's a swagger to Blacklist. You can even see it in the player camp.
Today?
Today.
The whole damn weekend.
I was going to say, I think it started with day 1 where, I would say when they entered the playoffs, it was like, okay, we're very serious. We need to get past this. And then I feel like they relaxed a little bit on their way through that to the point where now they've just kind of set in this, this rhythm, basically. So, and it's paying off so well. So now Blacklist International, they round out the first phase with the Akai and the Eve pick.
This might be an Arlott. The Akai pickup here for Blacklist International does look good, but I think RSG are a little bit happier with that, considering that now they also have a heavy spin that they can pick. It's like the idea that you mentioned earlier, Leo, of overloading a Valentino with ultimates. That's what Blacklist did. But it seems like any ultimate that RSG gets here, as long as they play it right, does sound really good. So they go ahead and decide to pick up the roamer here. They don't want to go into the second phase without a good roamer for light. They pick up the Kufra. So now it'll be probably take out 1 gold lane. They'll probably take out the carry here. And then at the same time, take out an Oh My Venus pickup as one of their other bans.
And just like that, we're back to somewhat Hack of Venus.
Yeah.
You always just, all right, it's not Hack of Venus, it's more like show respect for the queen.
Exactly.
Like, you can't just take everything away, but you have to make sure that you're prepared for what comes through.
Biggest thing is, I feel like for a lot of teams, ban the Estes here, but now what we've seen is, even when the Estes is banned, you see Oh My Venus opt for that Florin pick now, in times where it's like, okay, we want that. It might not be the Estes type heals or, technically that Ube strat that they kind of coined there, but Florin, in a way, it doesn't change too much of their play style. It just I feel like they complement the foreign pick if they decide to go that route. So you can really try for it, but that's probably the reason why RSG's like, you know what, we don't want to give them option B either. They take out the Florent.
RSG's lineup is seems to be leaning towards a draft that's very dive heavy though.
Yep.
And that could be a double-edged sword. It again adds more pressure onto themselves again to just play better. We saw a glimpse of it in the early game of the previous game, but they cannot slip. They can't afford to slip now. With Blacklist taking away the Claude, last best options here for RSG would be a Beatrix for wave clear, maybe even Melissa if they want to. I'd want to... Oh, they can pick up the carry for themselves as well. But then again, that's just the lack of range and everyone just going super close. That's good for Edward. That's good for Yue.
They're threatening the lack of re-engage. Like, it'll be too risky. That's what's bothering us. And at this point, RSG cannot leave any gaps at all. Like, every single decision they make has to be either 99 or 100% correct, or they hope that Blacklist is the one who slips up, because Blacklist has been so good on the clapback. They've been so good at punishing.
So good carry ban here by RSG, so they'll be left with either the Melissa or the Beatrix as their pickup. Blacklist International doesn't need to ban another gold laner here. They do still have a Moskov available for them, and right now this is a lineup that looks good for one Moskov. With that, the last pick of Blacklist might be the marksman I just mentioned, maybe even a Lolita. There's a lot of crowd control to stop a Numenon blast coming in from the Queen. But RSG will... We've seen Blacklist be brave with that choice. Like, that doesn't stop them, but they take away the Arlot. One of the last best options here for Nats, which, by the way, with Emma being of the Beatrix, this might either be a Terizla or... Dare I say even a Toms for Nats as the XP lane. Actually, unless that Fredrin goes to the XP lane instead.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Oh, what about a Hayabusa?
You think they're flexing it?
Yeah. XP lane Fred,
yeah.
Haya jungle. They're up against an Eve.
That's how I would... Actually, now that you say that, I would love to see that. You know, I would actually love to see Hayabusa in the hands of Irad once again. The way that he played it against Onyx Philippines, that could help them to secure themselves more time in the series and not get swept here by Blacklist International. Their last two picks, though, for Blacklist, Lolita's great option there. Oh, there's the Moskov. Let's see. It's Angela. But Angela comes through again. And this time we'll see if it works better.
That's spicy. So I'm going to change what I say. If that, they can go Baksha.
Put it in the jungle.
Yeah, put it in the jungle, put the Fredrin in the XP lane.
Okay, so what's going on here is a revival of the nice one baby meta.
Yeah.
Despite
nice one baby.
Yeah, despite the less than stellar showing earlier in the playoffs, maybe, just maybe, it takes the Queen to pick it back up.
And it'll depend if it's nice one baby, if it's going to be on Twice, or if it's any other member of Blacklist, nice one Nakshoes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, that's right.
Oh!
Talking about revivals.
Wow.
How about we go ahead and put into the hands of Nats an old flame in these very halls in SMX in Pasay City, Philippines. With this hero, he won a championship.
I didn't think they'd actually pull the trigger. It was in the back of my head, but I thought, nah, they're probably going to go something safer, because the last time we saw an Esmeralda from RSG earlier this season didn't turn out so well, because we were reminded why Esmeralda fell off.
She fell off, yeah.
She's not as effective and as strong as she used to be. But maybe just against the lineup that Blacklist drafted with all the shields that they have, maybe this just might be the right time for the Esmeralda to shine.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting to see how the Esmeralda plays out. Like you guys mentioned, in theory, it should work great, right? But we've seen why she has glaring weaknesses in the way the current meta is played here, but what other person to do it than Navs himself? And even, you know, the kind of mastery that he's gone through in that hero alone, where early on we saw him get a little overzealous sometimes on the Esmeralda and get punished for it. I'm sure you'll see that mastery come into play here this time.
That mastery and that discipline. If his clutch gene is going to engage at any point in the playoffs, ideally maybe now. It's not dire straits. They're not going to get knocked out. They're just going to get knocked down if they lose this. But I think the fact that they're throwing it back when Blacklist threw it back as well means they mean business.
In the beginning of this game, you're going to have to look out for Light. It's all up to him to set a nice hot tempo for RSG Slate PH up against Blacklist. Sana all, as the members of Blacklist have or Rome Angela on them, if they can get those pickoffs early on, that forces Blacklist off of their tempo, RSG Slate can ride a wave of momentum that'll take them to a potentially longer series. But again, it has to be executed better because Blacklist might just counter-punish them. This hurts. This hurts.
That's a burger.
That's a burger.
Oh, took a bite out of
it was a burger.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Took a bite out of it, too.
I love our community. They're so creative, and they're so game for everything. Speaking of game, I believe we are just ironing out a few kinks so as to make sure that our athletes get the best competitive experience. There's a lot to digest, though. This is good timing, actually, that we're given this moment. Because, look, the Esmeralda, it interacts with even the Akai. The Akai gets shields.
Yep.
So Nats can play what? Like a threat magnet. Like, all right, how about me? Sandwich me instead of the Fred.
The biggest question is, can he just, despite all the shields he can steal, can he actually survive long enough? And can RSG deal enough damage? The Esmeralda will need help. When Nas goes in, Nas needs to temper his, as you mentioned, his entries, his aggression. Yeah. If he goes in way too early and the other members of RSG aren't there, he's going to get melted down.
His dancing's going to stop.
Yeah.
He's going to get gassed.
Yeah, and if this is a close game where Owl is playing comfortably, the Moskov needs to be a priority target here for RSG Slate. They can't fight it slow front to back because Blacklist won't fight it like that as well. Edward and his Joy are just going to be so disruptive to the backline of RSG. They need to match that tempo and see what happens.
Yeah, that's my thing, too. The Moskov is the scary part because we know what happens when Moskovs just get that, whoa, little close-up there.
That was a transition, I think.
Yeah, transition.
Hey, I know this guy.
Coach and DJ.
There it is.
Smart Omega Neos.
They got the burger, too.
No, that's not a burger.
What is it?
That is a heart, my good man.
That was an actual heart.
That is his paramour.
Our community, you mentioned, so fun, so great, and they all seem to be in great, loving relationships. Good for them. Yeah.
You are married to the game.
Yeah, I'm married to the game. I'm married to the craft. This is my relationship.
I'm
happy.
There you go. We all are, you know? And they keep going, man.
Yep.
This is the best. Oh, she's giving them thumbs up, though.
All right. I think that they're playful.
They're playful.
But in love.
They're both.
He gives the thumbs up back.
Sweet revenge.
Oh, there you go.
He got so shy.
That close.
Little known secret, Dylan is actually quite the outgoing person. He's loud. He can get loud.
I was going to say, I've seen him like behind the scenes. He's always talking, man.
He's so rowdy.
When you get for a second there, I don't know why I thought that was Santi in the phone. So when you were coaching Light, was he the loudest out of all the players you had?
Yes. After being triggered by SDZYZ, they would both just turn the whole 3-story boot camp upside down.
So it was SDZYZ who
starts it up,
and
yes.
Then Light just makes sure it doesn't end.
Yes. Oddly enough. Throwing back to as far back as season 8, season 7, folks, when they were together. SDZYZ last seen playing for Impunity in Cambodia.
That's great.
All right, so we are back to making hearts, making burgers. I can only imagine what's going on through the minds of RSG Slate Philippines right now, because this is, again, the shortest way towards the grand finals is right here in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, and you think that
they gotta climb.
In a way, yeah, it's like, hey, Blacklist International right now. Not only are they match point, but it's a huge match point in the fact that if they win this, what that means for them, right? Again, it's a slot in the grand finals. It's a chance, not a chance, it's a sure ticket to Cambodia.
To defend their title?
To defend.
Oh, no!
Oh!
It's a baby friend! Oh, Lord.
We are all winners here today.
I miss my son.
No one lose. Oh, yes, of course.
It's a fan of MPL also.
Yeah.
The good boy or girl.
The most popular and beloved cat in MPL Philippines history, mind you.
Cups.
That's right.
Cups.
My son. Rice left him with like water and food, but I miss him.
Hey, I feel you, man. Wow, they
Tropa time. That's Tropa time
Tropa
right
time
there.
at its finest.
Tropa time. Exemplified. If y'all been listening what Tropa time is, there we go.
We are in it.
Tropa time, good time with your friends.
You watching at home, you are part of Tropa time.
Yeah.
We are in it.
That way, chat, y'all can comment if you want to see teams come up with merch for pets.
Oh.
Imagine if you see cups or your multiple pets, Naisu.
My multiple.
You have so many, okay?
My multiple children.
You have a really cute chubby kitten and then a huge dog. Imagine if they had jerseys of the teams.
Hey, that's a whole untouched
market,
Renmar.
Exactly.
I think you might be onto something.
A $1 billion industry in the making.
Undeniable. John Wick will have one for his dog.
Yeah, actually.
His dog is untouchable unless you want trouble.
No, I was kind of surprised at how like the merch of the teams have evolved as well. Like before it was just like jerseys, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right, not only do we have jerseys, but we have clappers.
I picked up RSG slides the other day.
You have slides.
Yeah, I got those too at the end of the regular season.
You've
The
got
slides are
Echo
so comfy.
socks.
They're
They
Echo
have
socks.
That you can wear with the slides.
Woo. Look at all the merch you're missing out on if you don't come here to SMX. But I know our grand finals are sold out, so people going to the grand finals tomorrow won't miss out on anything.
Technically, like this matchup, I would say there's probably a handful of seats left.
There's like patches of seats, but they might be belonging to people who just went to the bathroom.
Who went to the bathroom.
Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of foot movement going around.
Yeah, like a movie, there are moments here that you don't want to miss, so you just go when you can.
Yeah. I know there's people even looking for tickets, like still, right?
Still, yes.
Even though it's sold out, they're like, hey, if you can't go, I got you.
My phone's blowing up. Folks are asking me for tickets, and
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. You see the situation.
People are asking you. People are demanding me. if they're going, may I have tickets, Sir Leo? They're telling me, Reptar tickets. Hui.
Really? Are they sending you like video messages?
Dude, I'm not even joking. There's like 4 people who message
Your
me
phone's ringing right now.
just demanding me tickets.
Your phone's vibrating.
Please
Hey.
ask nicely, and we'd appreciate that better.
You shout at the teams for their entrances, you can probably give me tickets. Hey.
Yeah. I guess that's why they're so adamant about it. You're that guy? You can get me tickets. All right. So, folks, unfortunately, the teams might take a little bit more time to actually get ready. So for now, we're going to have to go throw it over to Midnight. He's got a bit for us. Hopefully you're ready for it. Robert, talk to us.
Maraming salamat, casters. Dito nyo lang matutunghayan sa MPL Philippines ang pre-game draft analysis. Dito natin makikita na itong matchup na ito ay sobrang importante. Bakit? Kasi ang storya ng series natin ay ang storya ng Joy at ng Fredrin. Bakit? Joy, mukhang kondisyon na yung dalawang teams natin na pinaglalabanan talaga nila ng hero na to. Ito yung maagawan sa first pick kasi may 1-1 trade-off din naman. Pero sabi ng RSG, tanggalin na natin yung 1-1 at kunin natin yung Fredrin. One of the highest win rate hero dito sa ating liga. And it's very important na makuha nila itong dalawang hero na to kasi si Edward ay nagdidictate talaga ng malaking pressure dito kay Joy kapag nakahawakan ng Blacklist International yung pillar ng XP lane nila. Again, masabi ko na si Edward yung pillar ng Ube strategy kasi meron siyang wave clear capability at lagi siyang sumasama sa mga mid lane rotations ng Blacklist International. Samantalang sa kabila naman, nakuha ng RSG yung isa sa mga pinaka-stable na jungler when it comes to contesting objectives. And kapag inisip mo rin kasi ang ganda rin na meron kang Fred rin sa inyong lineup, meron kayong sustain, meron kayong soft catch, and meron ding enough damage si Fredrin with the Appraises Rat. Alongside with yung sustain na nakukuha niya, habang tumatagal yung team fight, lumalaki yung crystallized energy, mas malaki yung damage output na ilalabas niya sa kanyang ultimate. Now, thinking of this draft, no, I would say na medyo balanced yung nakuha ng dalawang side. Kasi si Esmeralda, yung last pick ng RSG Slate Philippines, ang tagal nating hindi nakita. Kasi parang maraming explainer talaga na mas gusto mong makuha dahil meron siyang initial setups, meron silang mga panghabol sa gold lane. Pero sa Esmeralda parang weird yung kanyang placement sa meta kasi parang hindi niya nabubuo yung trabaho ng current explainers ngayon. Lalo pat may mga exotic explainers tayo na gumagamit ng Petrify. Yan sila Benedetta at saka sila Yuzong. Pero what makes this Esmeralda last pick from RSG great is it's up against an Angela and a Joy. Doon sa Joy, medyo balance naman yung matchup na yun. Medyo dehado lang si Joy pagdating sa mga skirmishes kasi yung shields ay napupulot ni Esmeralda. Pero ang pinakamalaking factor dito is kapag na-maximize ang Blacklist International, yung paggamit kay Angela, nananalify ito ng Esmeralda kasi sinisip-sip ni Esmeralda yung mga shields. So essentially, yung Blacklist International dito, yung defensive capabilities sila, pwedeng maging weapon ng RSG Slate Philippines. Kaya naman ito ay pinili ng RSG sa kanilang last pick. Nabanggit nung caster natin kanina and analyst na si Wolf na yung last pick Esmeralda, it makes sense even though it's such a curveball from RSG. Kasi ito yung purpose ng last pick. Ito yung mga heroes na kinukuha mo para essentially ma-counter yung buong composition ng kabila. And RSG did do that. Nakuha nila yung hero na, although hindi nagpipit masyado sa XP lane ng talagang maganda, pero essentially yung inherent nature ng lineup na gustong mangyari for the side of Blacklist International, countered na kagad ng XP laner ng RSG. Now, looking into this player head-to-head matchup, importante rin dito na tignan natin yung heroes nila Yue tsaka ni Exort. Again, very similar hero pool. I would say mas malaki lang ng konti si Exort kasi meron pa siya mga Kadita, meron pa siya mga Kagura, may mga exotic options pa for RSG Slate Philippines. Pero one thing is for certain, yung stability and consistency, I would say medyo nag-lean towards kay Yue, especially with the Ube gameplay nga na laging sama-sama ang Blacklist International. So kailangan ng konting adjustments ng RSG Slate Philippines kasi mas na-utilize nila, I would say, si Yue pagdating sa mga 5v5 engagements, and nandun yung laging threat ni Yue na binabawasan niya yung mga HP ng kalaban niya. Although ganun din naman yung ginawa ni Exort nung game number 2, pero hindi siya nag-workout kasi nga nasagot kagad ni Owl with the Athena Shield sa kanyang 1-1. And dito natin makikita yung kanilang stats. Mas mataas actually yung KDA ni Yue, 6.17 versus 4.94. And this is because of the fact na malaking contributing factor yung Ube, pero I would say si Yue kasi yung type ng player na talagang hindi nagtitipid ng skill. Basta nakita niya yung target niya, pag nakita niya yung hero na gusto niyang bawasan, nagko-commit siya kagad. And nandun kasi yung tiwala ng player na to sa kanyang koponan na magbaback up sila kapag importante yung clash na yon. Team part participation is of course higher as well on the side of UA, 81.68% dito sa mage ng Blacklist International. And si Exort naman lumalamang sa assists per game. Being a killer and damage dealer on the side of Blacklist, mas marami siya nakukuha kills. However, hindi naman nagpapauli si Exort when it comes to participating in fights kasi nandun pa rin naman yung kanyang mga assist with the Eves, with the Parsas, nandyan lagi yung tulong ni Exort para sa kanyang team. Sadyang mas marami lang talagang mamamatay tao sa side ng RSG Slate Philippines. And of course, having an assassin player like Irad, talagang mas natural na makukuha ng ibang role yung kanilang mga kills. I would say, in this series, mas naging impactful yung performance ni Yue. And mind you, rookie si Yue dito for the side of Blacklist International, and he is showing up in this game. Napakalaki nung kanyang importance sa pag-play ng kanyang role para mabigyan ng advantage ang Blacklist International. Malaking challenge to for RSG Slate Philippines, lalo pat 1 game away na lang ang Blacklist from securing their ticket to MSC and securing that grand final spot. Kamusta naman kayo dyan, audience? Kakamustahin namin kayo in just a bit. Pero bago lahat, kakausapin muna natin ang nag-iisang si Odin.
Hello guys! Nagbabalik dito sa courtside, your very own Odin, and together with me, ang sinisigawan ng taong bayan. Walang iba kundi si Jesu. Hi, Jesu!
Hello po guys, hello
Ayan.
po.
Kumusta ang buhay mo after ng playoffs? Ano pinagkakaabalahan mo ngayon?
Masaya naman po, tamang TikTok lang, tamang TikTok.
Ay, tamang TikTok. At isa lang ang naririnig ko nung narinig ko yung mga audience. Oh! Wala pa. Wait lang. Wala pa. Ang naririnig ko lang na sinasabi nila, Jesus, kaldag naman dyan. Oh. Ay, walang kupa si Jesus.
Si Odin na, Odin.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Nakikita ko meron ka ditong kasamang maganda.
Meron.
Sikat din to sa TikTok, ah. Tawagin natin si Tintin. Hi! Hello! Very beautiful. Dito ka. Tabi kayo ni Jesus. Oh, di ba? Para mga artista yung kasama ko today. Kumusta naman ang pagtitiktok niyong dalawa ni Jesus? Sikat na sikat kayong dalawa.
Okay lang po.
Nagpaplanuhan niyo yung mga TikTok niyo, no? Nakikita ko yung mga skit niyo, yung mga sayaw. Wow. Parang sasamahan tayo ni Tintin kaldag. Oh. Sample. 3, 2, 1, go. Oy. Palakpakan naman natin si Jesus tsaka si Tin. Ayan. Sa dalawang koponan ngayon, total, wala mo naman yung team nyo ngayon dito. Saan ang boto mo ngayon, Jesus?
Blacklist po.
Wow! Nako, mas minahal ka ng agents. So ano naman message mo ngayon sa Blacklist International?
Good luck sa inyo, Blacklist. Tapos waiting ako, Ma'am Shu, sa mga nakalista.
Wow! Oh. Mukhang may pinag-uusapan kayo ni Ma'am Shoes, ha? At after ng season na to, ano mga balak nyo? Magbabalik ba ang TNC Pro Team na mas malakas?
Opo, wait po nila.
Oy, wait nyo daw! May aabangan tayo. So thank you very much, Jesus and Tin, for that interview and dance number. Babalikan muna natin ang ating casters.
The Kaldag King and his queen at courtside with Odin. Welcome back to the desk. It's We Bear Bros at your service. My name is Leo. That's Reptar, and this is Naisu.
Hi.
We're about to throw back into game 3 here. Match point for Blacklist International.
Okay. Well, we pretty much, I would say, exhausted the points of, the draft, and even hearing what Midnight had to say. There's a lot here on the table, obviously, that has to happen here for RSG. Hey, they went through a reverse sweep yesterday. Who's to say that it can't happen here today? I know that's kind of a miracle and a half, as we would say here. Yeah, but we'll have to see if it can happen. Right now, though, bottom lane, again, how will this Esmeralda perform and work in the hands of Naz here for this game?
Yeah, adjustment there actually for RSG. To make this Esmeralda work, they started off with the dual XP lane for themselves, so it isn't just Naz alone trying to deal with Blacklist and two of their members. Yeah, the Exort there to help him. I wonder if RSG is still going to continue that.
So interestingly enough, the way Nats is playing this and building it, it's like he loaded a save file from mid-2022. Like literally just ported that metagame's pick into now and Exort.
Oh, Exort, okay. You're starting to see here, again, we really haven't had that much information on how well this Angela can work here. And if it fits that meta, like you guys mentioned, the Go Baby meta here. But I'm feeling that if it's anyone to make it work, it could be Oh My Venus.
Yeah, that's the queen we're talking about.
By charging it up, Enad actually had the vision on Oh My Venus there, provided by Light. So still a steady game here. No one needs to get too crazy early on. But again, Light can if he wants to, but not too crazy. Just get the Tyrant's Revenge off, get a control on, get a bit of pokes, back off a bit, and let the rest of your team see if it's going to be a continued fight or they just retreat and then just go on for the next objective.
Interestingly enough, for the first time this whole weekend, Oh My Venus hasn't hit level 4 on the first turtle. This is the first game this whole weekend that's happened.
Oh. Right. Well, right now, great pickup here. RSG might just be able to grab themselves a non-contested turtle, first one for this game.
That arrow is trippy. You see that?
Yeah, I was thrown off in the middle of my sentence. I was like, wait, is that angled? in a weird way.
It's a slower projectile when you take notice.
The Spear of Destiny looks kind of wonky, but it is still super cool.
It's gonna get there either way.
It will get there either way.
Not sure which way it's pointed.
Oh, up top, check it out.
Okay, up top. There's the hard guard. Owl still going to be able to survive that exchange.
Woo.
3 members now of RSG here focusing on the top side, but it looks like it's just going to be called off. Light will go back. Actually, no, he can't. Okay, he is now going to go back here. So not going to commit. No one's still going down at 3 minutes in.
Nah, seems to be having a good time against Edward here, though. After that initial help, ensured that it's quite even there and that Exort will be able to get a few levels in as well. So look at the items. No one getting a full build just yet. Waiting it out.
So far, about a minute until this next turtle. RSG Slate, much like Game 2, are in control of the early game.
And Naf's cutting lanes. They get objectives, and if they can continue this, then later on in this game, the big question for RSG is, can you control the mid game? Can you respect the power spike that your opponents have it? But here's Wise fighting Exort.
Okay, they get the flicker out from Exort. Could have been bad for him. Able to respond to it, though. Little poke back and forth. Light getting in position. Will find Oh My Venus. Gets the flicker out in response, too. So, the tension's there. You can see it on these two teams, the back and forth.
Yeah, and I really thought Light would use the Tyrant's Rage there, but he didn't. Naz and Ed were dueling out here.
They're dancing on each other.
Dancing on each other. Oh, yeah, Esmeralda dances also.
It's a dance-off.
Oh, that's what we wanted to see from Edward and Naz. By the way, Edward, clearing the minion wave means it's going to be 4 for Blacklist. The Joy is here for this turtle fight.
Okay, real-world manipulation already expended. There's the spear as well. Now Light going to charge up here. Turtle's still going to be worked on. Light will find 2. There's the heart guard. Wise gets the turtle, though. And still going to be going in. Naz will use that star moon. The first blood going over to Emon. Still under the turret is Naz. Dancing on Blacklist International here.
The young Nathaniel Estrologo of RSG Slate is in a state of flow.
I think I'm remembering this. He loaded the save file, the muscle memory kicked in. Edward avoided it. Edward avoiding it again. But how long can Edward hold to this top lane turret? He picks up the glowing wand. RSG looks like they'll be able to find a win here with a push up top.
Oh, wow. RSG Slate, again, much like they did in Game 2, are not letting Blacklist breathe. They know that speed is on their side, so that's a story of the early game here.
Yeah, trading, they do get that turret on the top side, so RSG, once again, getting that space advantage they can work with. Now, you know, Turtle's still a while away here, but they're going to go ahead and switch things up. Emon doing a great job farming up. Again, he does have that early kill, too, so still something that Blacklist International wants to do. Buy time here, even for that Moskov pick for Owl, but already a nice pickup for UA. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Owl 1 hit away from getting that turret, as he does with the help of the minion. So now even in terms of turrets.
Corrosion Scythe picked up by the Moskov. BOD for the Beatrix. So both marksmen getting their items at roughly the same time. Naz actually prioritized the Radiant Armor on the way to building the Enchanted Talisman. My question for Naz is, what will your third item be? You get a lot of shields. It would be good if you get Oracle, but at that point, you need something to reduce the damage coming in from the Moskov. Will he build more physical defense is my big question for Naz once he's in his third item slot.
It looks like the solution that RSG Slate have so far for the Joy is to just build early radius armors.
Yeah, they've stacked it. Even Irad built one himself as well. So that seems to be an answer not just to the Joy, but to the Eve, to the Angela as well. RSG, they put themselves in the situation to do that, but this is a big Turtle contest. Let's see who'll get it.
Well, let's see if they can find it. Turtle still going to be worked on. There's the heavy spin. They do lock down Wise here. It's going to be secured by Irad. Exort trying to jump out. Edward on the hunt with the hard guard. Exort trying to blast on through. As he does, the stun is not going to connect, but Edward jumps in anyway. Able to secure the kill here. Still on the run. Emon grabs a kill himself. UA will fall. 2-on-2 here. Wise versus 2, and on the bottom side as well. Wise will fall. Still Edward and Oh My Venus on the run. They're going to get sandwiched in here. They're in a bad position, and RSG will punish. Oh My Venus going to flicker out. Light charging up, finds the stun. A double for Naz.
Again, that state of flow that Nats is in. He is so comfortable in this position, and you see how deep he was cutting?
The cut, the aggression, a callback to MSC. Again, they are back in the building where it started it all for RSG Slate. The flow. Hopefully he doesn't go too far back in time and starts calling Ira Demon Kite and Exort Aqua. But he wouldn't. Like, Exort was playing that at that time as well.
Coach G. No, Coach Theo.
Coach Theo, right.
Yeah, it's again, folks, throwing back and the way that it's working out. You can say the same for Light. He is now at about 1,500 assists. This is a rookie from Season 7, a MPL champion and an MSC champion.
It's a lot of assists in just a short amount of time. Weiss there will be able to win the Litho Wander, but Light, I like the control, the aggression he's been playing. He's getting in key spots. He's aggressive at the right time. He's conserving his Tyrant's Rage. It looks like he's holding back to maybe a majority of the viewers there, but this is so calculated from him. But right now, RSG needs to be careful. This is a death rub.
Okay, wow.
Oh, wow.
Irad's senses were tingling there, able to avoid going down. And that would have been crucial if Blacklist International found that pick. But meanwhile, Light's going to line up their shot here. Yue, though, takes a shot, but the Heart Guard helps him out. Now Light going to get zoned out with a heavy spin. Here comes Edward, looking to find the kill. Light will go with the conceal. Able to survive for now, but Irad takes the brunt of the damage. And Nas there now on the front side. No one falls for either team. Could have been bad either way, but Irad going to go ahead and start up this Lord.
Owl almost hit Dylan Light Katipon with the Spear's Destiny, but missed by about an angle. Interestingly enough, they're going to convert into this Lord.
Yeah, Edward going to make his way up too. Might look for his own angle to enter from Light charging up. Lord just above half health here.
Ultimates.
The tier 1, though, is gone for Blacklist International, so they've got some space to work around. Light again with Rage. He finds the target. Wise will fall. The perfect pickoff. Owl gonna unleash, gets the stun into the wall. Naz trying to zone him out. Lord will be secured by Irad. And so Blacklist International will find a kill. They lose the Lord, though.
Gentlemen, is this not a throwback to the Death Ball, the RSG classic Death Ball?
It is. It feels like, wow, you keep mentioning throwback, but it really does feel like it's old school RSG with Frederick. Frederick wasn't there that time. And they just seem so happy with it.
Throwback with Fred.
Throwback with Fred. Fred went back in time.
Throwback to the future.
Yeah. But RSG are in that state right now. With one of the best things about RSG isn't just because they were aggressive in their peak in Season 9 at MSC. They were incredibly calculated, holding for the right time. The moment Light found Weiss, the target, that's when RSG said, okay, we will blow our abilities here onto this Akai, and that was the right call. But again, they still have to watch out for that Moskov. Al got the free hit, and once that happens, there's a lot of damage. Purple buff, Wise still gets to keep it.
Well, right now, still, Turret's going to fall here. Blacklist International will hold on the best way it can, but this is that lead RSG has, right? And they're working with it, too. I like that you mentioned this earlier, though, Renmar. You know, the discipline from Light to hold on to some of those revenges, not committing, even when he has the flicker available. But this time, once again, look at the damage coming out from RSG Slate.
Mr. Del Rosario.
They get rid of Wise with a snap of a finger. Exort also holding on to the heavy spin here.
All right, so more on how RSG are not exactly aggressive. They pick their fights, but now in Game 3, 12 minutes in about, they're just so calculated.
Light's going to go in once again. They fight game here. They don't want to get swept, they say, and they're all razor locked in. Light going to charge up once again. Minions pushing into the mid lane. Eyes set. Owl still up, though, has not died yet on this Moskov. He should be at the point where the damage is a threat, but just can't find the angles he's looking for. And right now, Blacklist holds on. Wise, though, going to go in. There's Light once again. Heavy spin comes down, but he will survive.
Dude, RSG Slate are not letting Blacklist breathe. Like, we are going to force the issue here, and y'all find your window, but This is our goal. It's a one-track mind.
Yeah, y'all got your back-to-back. It's game 3. We're gonna fight back. Oh, look at the fact that they couldn't reach. Oh, Nats!
Okay, Nafs, half health here. Wise, though, as well, has to get back. Meanwhile, Irad, Edward on top, going to go down. They find a kill. It's a double. Emon, just like that, turning the tides once again further in the favor for RSG. Now the Lord is up.
Was that an Agent Zero Piñata up top? I mean, off camera, I can only assume that it was the Joy with the Angela inside with the Heart Guard that RSG just folded in half.
Yep. Muerto doble. Agente Zero. I believe that is very wrong what I just said. But RSG are very right in rushing this Lord. Eman 6-0 and 2. Owl untouchable, Eman untouchable, and he hurts. And he's getting kills. RSG have learned from the last 2 games. Everything that we mentioned that RSG slate seems to be lacking or doing wrong in game 1 and game 2. They came into this game 3 and said, thank you. It's our time to shine now. And they are shining brighter, or as bright as light does. But as an entire team, this is just good old classic RSG.
Just as thankful as the theoretical RSG are in your situation, in your analogy, we are too, because again, this is what we were looking for from the Raiders this whole time.
Yeah, I was about to ask Dan Redmar how many watts is light.
25.
All right, he's only at 25.
That's pretty strong.
That's conservative.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, yeah.
I was going to say 60, maybe 60 watts.
60 watts.
That's pretty bright.
Let's go for 120. There we go.
All right, just crank it up.
Whoa, that's blinding. Malefic Roar, by the way, built there by Al. So that Moscow will hurt if they get touched. And Wise will get punished.
Wise going to get CC'd once again. Has to use the heavy spin out of there on the defense. Edward jumping in with a heart guard. Locked down, though. X-Sword using the heavy spin as well. One hit away, Edward will fall. Nats unstoppable. Goes under the turret. 1 versus 4 will have to back off. But inhibitor turret now going to be the focus. Owl, though, once again, he has not died yet, so they're still able to defend somewhat. But they've now lost 2 inhibitor turrets to the base for Blacklist International. RSG looking to raid into the base, work on this crystal if they can secure themselves a game. Nat's going to jump in. Right, though. He's shining right. Will fall. Immortality there. No follow-up just yet. Owl 1 hit away. Will find it. Light the only one to fall here. It looked like it could have been the end there, but they hold on. Blacklist International.
Rome for Rome. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think RSG Slate did well there. Because of the fact that they're keeping the tempo up, means Blacklist have to find a way to recover.
And the key to recovery for Blacklist is really the positioning of Yue and Owl. It's undeniable. We've repeated it time and time again. This Moskov does hurt RSG. They're committing a lot. They're taking down Edward. They're taking down Venus, Wise. But Yue and Owl, if RSG do not play their cards right in a fight, they'll find themselves low against a Moskov and a Valentina Irad.
Okay, Irad going to get heavy spun out of the area. But he should be just fine. Quite tanky, has the immortality as well. So they know those resources are down here. 10 seconds away from the Lord. RSG looking for position.
Gentlemen, note the fact that we keep mentioning Moskov. It's just a matter of time before he starts to hurt, when he becomes the difference maker, the equalizer in this game. Are we going to start seeing RSG Slate build Blade Mails, build Anti-Keras? Because that's where I think it should go.
Blade Armor does sound good. Reduce the physical damage as much as you can. Wise. Got the vision.
Look at him.
Wise going to try to come in here. Naz will push him out, though. So they get the call. Lord going to be secured for RSG. And, you know, that's the question. How do you prepare for this Moskov? Yeah. Again, the defense potential, the high ground defense from Blacklist International is phenomenal here.
Yeah, very solid. And that's going to be the test
for
RSG Slate. If they get this wrong, it will be devastating to all the progress, for all the progress they've made this entire game. They have to get this right. If they can't end the game, at least don't lose 3 members. 3 members max, or 3 members down would be a massive win for Blacklist.
The only way that that's actually a good thing for RSG Slate is if it's a wipeout.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Here we go. Well-synced waves.
Here we go. Lord pushing in. Bottom turret going to go down here ultimately as well. Light going to charge up. Look for the flicker setup if he's looking for it. Not going to find it just yet. Lord going to be demolished here. Wise will use the heavy spin. Blacklist International so far so good on the defense. Yeah. RSG though, they are realizing just how hard it is to crack open this base and end this game here despite being 11K ahead.
Gentlemen, I would eat a meal off of that defense. It was so clean.
I would too. Well, it depends on the meal. Well, I'm not picky.
Oh, Nap's going to charge up here. UA dropping the real world manipulation. They clear the waves once again, keeping RSG at bay.
Oh, one more sniper shot.
They get it.
They get it.
Balder than Lex Eterna is the base right now of Blacklist International. And RSG Slate just needs to ride this out.
An MPL veteran of several seasons. Boy, do we miss our old friends.
We're seeing a lot of our old friends here.
They're coming in, yeah.
In the playoffs. Got old friends coming in from Indonesia. It was good to see the Onyx boys back. Even Hate was also here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, wait. Yes.
Malaysia, Cambodia.
Yep.
Everywhere. Worldwide here in
all the
FBL
imports.
Philippines.
Come on over, Trex.
Yeah, that's quite a journey.
Well,
come on over.
He can make it. It's doable swim.
Now, it's good to see Blacklist at least get a little bit of their map.
Yeah.
Despite all of their turrets getting taken down, it's only the base standing. They're getting a little bit of farm now on UA and Owl. Yeah. I mean, does Owl need any more? Nope, he's fully built. There it is. He's good.
By the way, I love the itemization here of Emma. Athena Shield and a Rose Gold.
Yeah.
Even though people are probably wondering, hey, why not a Radiant Armor? Well, the shields that he'll get.
No, Radiant Armor ain't good on softies anyways, man.
Yeah. So you build those two items, and plus there is still a little bit of lifesteal that you're gonna get from the Rose Gold. It's like 5%.
Yep.
But add that to the lifesteal you're already getting from the Haas Claws.
Yep.
No wonder why every time you see Emmett go, you see his health bar go up alongside it.
What I tell y'all about sound effects, fam.
Nice one, Naisu.
That didn't sound like me at all.
He was talking, I think. Oh.
Yeah.
Fine. It's me.
Look at this immaculate pull by RSG Slate. They're making the most of this 10K gold lead. At least they have that. Now 20 minutes in. This is TikTok timers, folks. Every little bit counts.
We've seen games like this 20 minutes in where a team has a massive lead.
Oh.
And with Lord Steal, it can turn the tide here. Wise going to get whittled down a little bit. Light going to charge up. Edward also making his way to the fight here, looking for his own angle. There's the real world manipulation. Wise will use the heavy spin, pushing Irad back. Lord's still going to be worked on, though. Naz on the backside on Owl has the heart guard, but Edward will fall. Irad Immortality going to be bottom. Look at the damage coming out on Naz. Has to get out. Suppressed is there. Irad will fall. Double for Emon. He's unstoppable. Triple kill looking for another. The chase is going to ensue. Emon comes through. Maniac looking for a savage. Give it to him. Naz will take it. And it's a wipeout.
If you're in a state of flow, you kind of forget that you can give a savage, but nay. The Raiders stand tall. We're not going down.
He's laughing.
Like this.
He's laughing.
That isn't kill steal. That is kill secured.
That is a game secured here for RSG. And we go on for the series.
The Raiders are on the board, folks. We are not getting a sweep, not in the upper bracket finals.
No sweeps. No and there. No savage for Eman. But yes to a huge victory for RSG Slate PH.
Oh, man. Now, it was so close. And you could, I mean, if you got a glimpse of it, rewind if you guys are watching at home. You got a glimpse of the
window.
The window, the players. Nats was probably like, he was laughing. I don't know if that's like, ha ha ha, or my bad, ha ha ha.
Yeah, or it's ha ha we win, or ha ha I got you.
Yeah.
Like,
better luck next time.
Yeah. Get faster.
I feel like if it was the ha ha I got you, that's a good sign coming from a team that was put in a really tough situation.
That's right, yeah.
It's like, keep it lighthearted, and again, they ran it back. Classic RSG. I don't know what they talked about, but that was just Wow, the RSG that we always just thought about and imagined what would have been like if they faced off against Prime Blacklist.
Yep, and talking about how Irad had lessons to learn between game 1 and 2, it looks like he has employed these. He has taken them to heart. And it's good to see the good old death ball from RSG Slate coming back to buy them more time in the upper bracket finals. Now you gotta wonder, where does this put Blacklist? Because again, all to be considered, they got a little playful. They picked up the Angela.
Yep.
I wonder where our analyst Midnight stands on this. Neil, it's your turn. Talk to us. Tell us exactly what happened here in game number 3.
Maraming salamat, casters. RSG bounces back against Blacklist International on the back of a pocket pick Esmeralda, and I would say Nuts Entertainment is back in this game. Welcome back din sa analyst. Ito nga pala si Midnight, and ating i-discuss gaano nga ba ka-importante itong Esmeralda pick ng RSG Slate Philippines. We touched upon this earlier nung pinag-uusapan natin yung draft discussions, but I would really want to highlight kung bakit nga ba ito nangyayari. Number 1, yung passive kasi ni Esmeralda ay ini-ignore lahat ng shields na nanggagaling sa side ng Blacklist International. So in terms of dealing damage against Blacklist, ay wala siyang pake kung may shield na nakapatong dito sa mga heroes ng Blacklist. But that's not enough. Ang isa pang kinagandang factor is kapag ginagamit ni Esmeralda yung kanyang second skill o yung Stardust Dance, ay ina-absorb niya rin yung shields na nabibigay ni Angela in this case, at pati na rin yung ibang heroes, ina-absorb lang yon ni Nuts, meaning more sustain for the Esmeralda. And gusto ko rin dito yung isa yung battle spell na napili niya, yung Sprint. It helps him reduce the CC and makatakbo rin sa mga heroes like sila Moskov, sila Eve, si Akai. Actually, nakakalabas nga siya sa reload manipulation. It also helps in chasing down the joy of Blacklist International. And ang kinaganda dito sa lineup ng RSG is meron silang frontliner na hindi takot sa entirety ng lineup ng Blacklist International. Meaning, yung Blacklist, may isang hero lang na tinitignan. Paano natin susolusyonan itong hero na to? And their answer was to keep farming on the Moskov. Medyo naging sacrificial lamp, I would say. Sila Wise at pati na rin si Edward dito kasi kailangan talaga nilang pigilan yung momentum na pwedeng makuha ng RSG Slate Philippines against this Esmeralda. And ito naman yung na-abuse ng RSG. For the majority of the mid-game, sila yung kumokontrol ng mapa. And si Blacklist, react lang ng react sa ginagawa ni Nuts. Pero may mga moments naman na si Wise ay nagiging aggressive. Pero again, ang problema kasi is kukulangin talaga sila ng damage dealer kasi hindi pwedeng magpakita basta-basta si Owl. And gusto ko i-comment, yung performance ni Owl dito, once lang siya namatay. And this really tells you na may plano yung Blacklist, mag-late game lang, kayang-kaya nilang labanan yung RSG Slate Philippines. Pero dagdag sa problema ng Blacklist dito is nung umabot nga ng late game, nadagdagan naman yung sustain ni Esmeralda, especially with the Oracle and of course, yung kanyang tankiness against the marksman of Blacklist with the Blade Armor. Kumbaga lahat ng aspect ng game, may solusyon. Si Nuts versus Blacklist International. And even though matagal natin hindi nakita yung Esmeralda, Nuts still showed up to this game. And ito yung na-miss natin sa kanya. Ito yung dahilan bakit tinawag siyang Nuts Entertainment for the past seasons. And ito rin actually yung isa sa mga key heroes ni Nuts during their MSC campaign. Now, RSG Slate Philippines, inabuso nila yung mid-game power spike nila and nakakuha ng maraming kills. Si Eman, he was able to dish out so much damage for the side of RSG Slate Philippines. And in turn, nakapag-farm din siya ng maraming item, 800 ang kanyang GPM. And ang madalas na nakakawawa doon ay ang Akai ng Blacklist International. Kumagat siya talaga yung sumasalo ng damage output na binabato ng mga Raiders. And the MVP of that game, no deaths on this Beatrix. 11-0-4 is Eman with the Beatrix. Ang ganda nung naging item build-up niya rito. Very important yung Hasklo, pati na rin yung Rose Gold Meteor. Kasi yung Hasklo, kapag bumaba yung buhay niya, kaya niya makipagsabayan kay Moscow. Pwede pa siyang gumawa ng mga buy and sell shenanigans, yung mga tactics. Pwede niyang palitan yung Wind of Nature. And yung Rose Gold, ang kinagandaan dito, merong magic defense and meron ding shield na nakukuha from the passive. And ang magandang passive ng Rose Gold Meteor is all source of damage. Yun na mablock nito. So kapag umabot siya sa threshold na yon, may additional layer of sustain for the marksman ng RSG Slate Philippines. And kung makikita nyo sa game na to, again, it was just RSG. Si Nuts diving under towers of Blacklist International. Pero again, ito yung mga sinasabi kong moments kanina na may plano pa rin naman yung Blacklist. May mga moments na nag-engage pa rin sila versus RSG. Pero ramdam natin yung impact na yung Esmeralda, tatabihan lang yung Angela, tatabihan yung Akai kasi wala siyang pake dun sa shields. Kahit na mag-second skill si Akai, wala siyang pake. Kahit may additional HP na makukuha yung mga core ng Blacklist International from the Angela, wala talaga siyang pake. And sisip-sipin pa yun. And it means mas malaki yung sustain na nakukuha ng RSG Slate Philippines. Blacklist, however, did a fantastic job of protecting their own base. And nandun pa rin kasi yung threat na meron pa rin silang re-engage and punishing capability if ma-miss position ka, which did happen nung na-punish nila si Light when he came in. Pero ang hindi kasi nila abot is yung Beatrix. Kapag tinignan mo yung lineup ng Blacklist International, in theory, meron kang pang-abot with the Joy. Pero that's where the Rose Gold meter comes in. Yung mobility na makukuha mo doon, yung added movement speed na nagde-decay over 5 seconds. Enough yung duration na yun, nag-overlap yun actually dun sa combo na pwedeng iba to ni Joy. Pero dito natin nakita may mga moments of brilliance pa rin ng Blacklist International. May systematic approach talaga sila sa lore dance. Pero sabi ni RSG, sige, palagan natin yung sistema nyo. Kung gusto nyo mag-hero, mag-hero din kami, and that is what happened. RSG tried to take out Blacklist International one by one. And again, naging problema yung Beatrix and Esmeralda dahil wala nga sila nagisagot and wala rin silang natural answer versus Nuts on this Esmeralda. Hindi pa papayag ang Kings of the Sea na matapos dito ang serya dahil pwede pa sila maka-bounce back. And Blacklist International, again, isang game na lang ang kanilang kinakailangan para makapasok ng Grand Finals. Mukhang marami tayong may expect talaga dito sa matchup na ito. Mainit yung naging bakbakan natin. Even bringing out some old heroes of the past. Angela and Esmeralda, although nabanggit ni Wolf na napakaganda talaga nung insertion ng Esmeralda. Kasi even if other options to, even with the Lolita, ay ganun pa rin yung mangyayari dito kasi may shield pa rin naman ang ibibigay. And yung Esmeralda pa rin ang makakapag-maximize ng kanyang window. And it also goes back to sa keys to victory kasi si RSG Slate Philippines this time around was able to utilize the XP lane. Si Nuts ay nakapag-establish ng kanyang show, nandun yung Nuts Entertainment, and na-abuse nila yung fact na sobrang lakas ng hero ni Nuts ng early to mid game to be able to snowball and gain momentum para umabot tayo sa late game Beatrix ni Eman. Again, it was very fundamental. Ito talaga ang approach ng RSG Slate Philippines. Ganon ka-fundamental and tactical sila Coach Panda rito. Kahit mga lumang heroes, ibibiring out nila kung kailangan nilang counterin. And ito rin yung beauty ng last pick. Nabanggit natin kanina to during the draft analysis. Yung last pick ng RSG Slate Philippines, yung slot na yon, its main purpose is to counter whatever needs countering. And in this case, ang na-counter niya is yung raw sustain and yung kit na binibigay ni Angela for Blacklist International. Essentially, parang natanggal yung buong game plan ng Blacklist International dito kasi hindi na nga nila nagamit ng sobra-sobra yung kanilang Angela. And ang nakawawa dito is si Wise kasi parang fundamentally speaking, yung lineup nila, it's meant to allow this Moscow to farm up on the early game and have this crazy front line that just fights into RSG. Kumbaga yung early to mid, nabura bigla for Blacklist kasi si Esmeralda na lang yung kalaban nila. And mainit yung naging sagot ng RSG kasi again, lumang hero na yung nilabas sila. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos dahil may game, potentially meron pa tayong game 5. Or tingnan natin kung baka force out na lang na Blacklist na game 4 lang matapos itong series. So mainit ang bakbakan pero I'm pretty sure mas mainit pang mangyayari dito as we head on over to Mara Aquino.
We saw the intense battle in the Land of Dawn. Ngayon, meron tayong battle right here at SMX Convention Center. And I'm gonna call H2O and Renegade. Oh. RSG versus Blacklist. First of all, kamusta na kayo, guys?
Okay lang, okay lang.
Okay lang.
Oh, okay lang. Parehas. They're in unison. Okay. Matindi ang laban natin in the Land of Dawn. Kailangan kayo naman ang mag-battle dito sa harap ng ating audience in this segment called Settle This. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, alam naman natin kung paano kayo mag-banter. Now, let's show it. We're gonna do round 1. Bato-topic muna kung sino yung mauuna. Bato-topic.
Ano muna, pre?
Oh.
Ikaw na, ikaw na. Ikaw na.
Sige, bato-topic. Whoever wins gets to choose. Bato, pick.
Ikaw manalo, ikaw muna.
Ako panalo.
Ay, sige.
Siya panalo, ikaw una. Okay. H2, go!
Masabi ko sa'yo, Rene J, alam kong na-trauma ka pa rin sa akin nung regular season sa Hayabusa ko. Kaya di ka na pinaglaro ulit ngayon. Kaya yun.
Renegade, payag ka ba doon?
Nung lumaro ako nung Yung kay H2. Kasi naawa ko kay H2 kasi kaibigan ko eh. Alam ko kasing downers yun eh, kaya pinatalo ko talaga para sa'yo, Ferg. Pero kasi alam ko naman kami yung makakapasok dito, Ferg eh. Kaya patalo ko sa'yo para confident kayo.
H2!
Alam mo sabi. Ewan, di ko alam sabihin ko. Wala akong masabi. Lamang kasi sila 2-1 eh.
Well, I guess, facts.
Kung ako sa'yo, Ferg, lumaro ka na. Alam mo bakit? Para MSC na kami.
H2!
Ikaw yung lumaro ulit para laglag na kayo.
Sige, laro ka, lalaro din ako.
O sige.
Papakita natin talaga kung sino mas malupit sa atin.
O sige, para makabawi ka naman ulit sa akin kasi wala ka pang bawi sa akin eh.
Kaso pag bumawi ako sa'yo, pre, wala ka nang bawi kasi hindi ka na makakapasok. Tatalunin ka ni Yawi.
Wala lang akong masabi.
Oh, by the way, for the first time in MPL Philippines history, the big three, Rana J, H2, and Yawi, they're in the top 3, everybody! Hindi na 8. Okay, now, meron ba kayong final message sa mga fans? I want you to say something to Blacklist and pump them up. Can you get them to cheer, Rana J?
Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga pumunta. Napakarami nyo. Yan, tayo sa support sa team natin. Yan, sure ako ipapasok nila to sa MSC.
Rana J, we need your help to pump up the entire SMX Convention Center. Siyempre, dapat para sa Blacklist. Go ahead.
Blacklist!
H2, can you do better than that? Anong message mo sa RSG Slate fans? At kailangan mas mataas yung energy sa ginawa nila.
Shoutout nga pala sa mga pumunta dito sa venue. Sobrang na-appreciate ko kayong lahat. Sa mga sumusuporta sa Team RSG and yun, kaya pa natin i-reverse flip to. Tiwala lang.
Hindi na. Hindi na kaya.
GG!
Before we go, okay, pwede ba kayong dalawa dito sa harap? Can we see a quick whoa? Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go!
Katrastuhan kita, ba't ngayon ka-vibes na kita?
Pero ngayon, bago mag-umpisa ang laban, meron pa tayong isa pang special guest that we're gonna be seeing. And they're with Odin. Odin, what's up?
Thank you, Miss Mara! Napakainit doon, pero mas mainit dito dahil buhay pa ang dugo ng Raiders! Yes! This is your very own Odin at nagbabalik ako. Kasama ko ngayon ang former jungler ng RSG Slate Philippines. Walang iba kundi si Demon Kite!
Hello.
Hi, Demon Kite! Fist bump! Uy! Pumayag! Friends! Kumusta? Ano pinagkakaabalahan mo ngayon na hindi ka naglaro this season?
Okay naman po. Nagpahinga lang po ako ng mga 1 to 2 months ganun. Tapos nagbabalik grind na din ako.
Oy, 1 to 2 months lang ang pahinga. And pwede ba namin malaman kung ba't ka nagpahinga?
Ayun, para sa next season kasi M5 na next season.
Ay! Naku, parang ginagalaw na niya ang baso. Demon Kite, sinasabi ko sa'yo. And doon naman sa usapan ni Irad at saka ni Cartizzi. Alam mo naman siguro yun, no? Very strong ang personality ngayon ng inyong jungler na si Irad. At sinabi niya talaga na mas malakas siya kay Cartizzi mag-Lancelot. And sinagot yun kanina ni Cartizzi, ha? Sabi ni Cartizzi, okay lang. Yung huling gumanyan sa akin, nagpahinga. Uy, para may pinaparinggan si Cartizzi. Anong masasabi mo doon, Demon Kite?
Yeah. Huwag kang mag-alala dahil sa season 12, dudurugin ulit kita.
Oh, sheesh! Nako! Iba talaga ang junglers ng RSG Slate Philippines. And kumusta naman para sa'yo yung performance ni Irad so far?
Ayun, before naman ako umalis ng season 10, bali, lahat ng nalalaman ko yun, tinuturo ko sa kanya. Kasi parang ka-brainstorming ko palagi si Rab ng time na yun kasi dalawa lang kaming jungler. So, nagtutulungan kami palagi. And ayun naman, nakikita ko naman yung improvements niya ngayong season.
Wow.
Season 11.
Feeling ko proud na proud ka sa kanya. And how about H2O? Nagkaroon ba kayo ng chance na ma-mentor mo rin siya?
Hindi kasi pagka dumadalaw ako sa booth camp, parang saglitan lang ganon. Hindi naman ako masyado nakakapag-communicate kay H2. Pero masasabi ko lang kay H2, galingan mo palalo.
Uy, may backup. Nakakatuwa naman, no? At very good na relationship nyo with the current roster. And yun nga, narinig na natin. Gagalawin mo na ang baso for next season, Demon Kite.
Oo, abangan nila ako.
Hoy, abangan nyo daw! And ano naman message mo para sa Raiders na hanggang ngayon ay buhay na buhay ang pagsuporta sa RSG?
Ayun, salamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa RSG, tsaka magkakaroon na ng MSC episode 2.
Oy, may episode 2! Oh, diba? And kumusta naman yung pakiramdam na kasama mo ngayon ng Raiders? Na-miss mo ba sila?
Oo, kasi isa na ako sa nag-cheer ngayon.
Ay, isa na sa nag-cheer! And bago tayo mag-throw sa casters, paringgan naman natin sila ng cheer mo, Demon Kite.
GG!
GG! GG!
RSG!
Thank you so much, Demon Kite. Maraming salamat, Raiders. Balik muna sa inyo, casters.
Naisu has a really big smile on his face right now.
Look at that. Massive. Oh, look at the pearly whites.
You're blooming, dude.
Pearly whites for Demon Kite.
Hey, man. I always said this. Back in Season 8, my first season into the MPL, I was like, I love this guy, Demon Kite. You know, he's my favorite person from coming up from the amateur scene, and I saw him, everything that he accomplished up to this point. It's nice to see him here. You know, I understand that he had to have the break, but hey, man, Irad, H2O, they've done an amazing job, you know, kind of filling that role. And I can't wait to, after what he said, I know it was in Filipino, but he pretty much said he's going to be back in the future, and he can't wait to see Carl Teasy.
Yeah.
Why? What's he going to do? What's he going to do?
Said, I'm going to crush you when I get back.
In Filipino, Durugan. Is that right?
Yeah,
Durugan.
Oh, yeah, very good, nice.
Durugan Kita.
Close enough.
Our cameraman just shuddered. Our cameraman just said, please don't. All right. So already, despite the hot and intense matchup we have, there's already another rivalry brewing. A rivalry revived because of the, how do I say, spicy words coming in from one Carl Teasy, right?
Yeah.
Dude, again, just for the folks who are catching up to the story here, Carl Teasy said earlier today, the last person who did that to me or who spoke up to me like that had to take a rest, had to take a break, and that's what's happening here. That's the response that Demon Kai had to. It's just a long story. It's been a year since removed, but I love it. Now back into the action. Match point for Blacks International, but RSG Slate are slowly building up.
They reverse sweeped yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. Earlier in that game, when we finally got to it, I was like, hey, this might be a miracle and a half. But they reverse swept yesterday. They could probably do it today. It's going to take a lot, but that step one has already been accomplished. And I don't know if that's because we threw it back to the future, you know, like we talked about.
They threw it back to the future.
Yeah, we were a part of it, though. You know, we went with them because Nath's on that Esmeralda pick worked out phenomenally. And I'm really wondering how do they take that, what they did in Game 3? Because, again, that lead they had was massive. You know, they had, at one point, I think it was, around 9, 10K gold lead at some point. Yeah, 11.
Yeah, 11, 12, we got that high.
They could have loaned somebody else some gold.
Yes. But they didn't. They kept rolling with it,
That's
man.
right.
And, you know, how do they do that? How do they replicate that for Game 4?
They just have to play around. Again, what we mentioned about their patience, their calculated aggression, the fact that so many times, how many times have we seen Light? Always. Once he gets someone with a Tyrant's Revenge, it immediately converts into a rage. But then early on in the game, he got to really save that and save it for the best possible moments, wherein the Tyrant's Rage wasn't just always being used because he knows that there is still an opportunity for Blacklist to turn this around. This isn't my main target.
And it's that, how do I say, situational awareness. It's that also, I guess, you could say, state of flow that Light was in. Because again, a majority of them from Game 3 picked up heroes that they've been playing for years now. And again, they threw it back. They employed the classic RSG Death Ball. And I'm wondering, on the other side of this coin, was Blacklist International a little too playful? Was that a last pick, Angela?
Yeah,
it was a last phase, last pick, Angela. Was that a little too out of their wheelhouse so that they found it hard to claw back in?
The interesting thing is, I believe the pick that we were positing for Blacklist to pick up was the Lolita. And makes sense why they didn't consider it, because at the same time, there were so many heroes on the side of RSG to interrupt every Numenon blast. However, you also have to consider Lolita gives shields to her teammates. So even if, I felt like that would have been equal or even more devastating.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, considering that it was still going to be an Esmeralda last pick for RSG slate. That's why that Florin ban by RSG was just tremendous, because they knew they funneled them into a position where, okay, Blacklist would want sustain. The Angela Heartguard would really buff up the Moskov, the Joy. So that was a good, it seemed like a really great choice. It was playful, yes, but at the same time, it seemed like that's what they were left with to go for.
And that's scary to think about and consider, given that maybe even if you think about it, Matilda still gives shields. Even if you went dug deep, right? Plan C, Plan D, it's difficult to consider. So yeah, is this a way for Coach Panda and Coach Theo to say, Boncha and Dexter, we're on to you?
Could be.
Yeah, I think it could be. And at the same time, you were talking about this, Leo, of going back to that fundamentals, going back to some of the basics here. And I think that's why they did it, and that's why it worked. And, even talking about, Oh My Venus versus Light, like Light is just, like you mentioned, he was in a flow. And the whole team kind of played around that. And then they got into that point, right?
They followed through the flow.
Yeah, they followed the light, but the flow of light. There you go.
The FOL.
Yep,
the FOL. Oh, dude, the words are just, never mind. All right, so throughout this discussion of what Blacklist could have picked up as the roamer, you'll see that the signature picks for both Light and Oh My Venus, which would have dictated the dynamic that Game 3 had, seems to have really just fallen down to that choice. And maybe if RSG Slate can replicate said situation, replicate the same atmosphere wherein Oh My Venus is forced to play this way, and RSG Slate keeps up the tempo, Blacklist may have to take us to Game 5. They might have to, again, face RSG where they're comfortable in, the reverse sweep, just like last night.
Yeah, and going through like the possibilities in my head, even if it gets to the point where it's similar to what happened in game number 3. And in terms of drafting situation, it's that. Even if they decided to take out the Esmeralda, as we were mentioning, the Baksha was still an option. A Fredrin in the XP lane, put up a Baksha, you still get that anti-heal, you're not against the Florin. And I feel like these are going to be some of the things that we're going to watch out for from RSG. Their bans on the Estes, the Faramis, and the Florin. And that might be the mix alongside banning 2 heroes of Owl and then just leaving the one that you'd rather go up against open.
Which I feel like they could actually afford to go against a Moskov again. Because, like, the majority of the game, yeah, Moskov is scary, right? He gets to a point where he has, 2, 3, maybe 4. It was fully item locked, but Owl couldn't get the positioning that he needed for a lot of those fights. And, he could clear waves, great. But really, when it came to the team fighting, he couldn't get in the positioning that he wanted to.
What you get with the Moskov is, yes, the reliable damage, right? But by RSG Slate banning the carry in that last phase, they denied the re-engage. The Moskov is so honest. Yeah, sure, you can throw a spear across the map, which again, just playing back in my head, still pretty trippy. But when you get, again, Kufra right in your face, there's very little you can do, especially once you press that Inspire. That's a no-go, usually, about 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah. And if it does get to the point, I agree with that, be able to face up against the Moskov again. It looks like they'll be ready for it. They got used to it. And one of the things that they did so well is even if they're up against a Moskov is that they handle the dives and the engagements of Edward and Wise so well that there wasn't enough time and space for the Moskov, because eventually with the main frontliners, the main heroes that disrupt the fighting of RSG to give space for the Moskov, they went down relatively quickly. That they were always there to respond, RSG, and we also have to commend what Emma did in the last game with how well he positioned in that, being able to free hit, being able to farm up, and every time Wise would got caught off, he would just get melted down that Akai would be forced to use a heavy spin early on just to back away.
You mentioned the Akai in the hands of Wise was the only real reliable source of peel. There was close to none for Blacklist's lineup in Game 3, and that should be something that they consider. Because again, yeah, look, no re-engage, no peel, vision comes at what? A costly price. Again, that's just a recipe for disaster when you're fighting off against a death ball lineup, a death ball execution.
Yeah, and we also saw this in the matchup of Omega versus. Sorry, it's slipping my head. Who Omega were eliminated? Blacklist International. There, yeah.
This very
this very one here. We're in
long weekend.
We're back to the present.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend. We've been time traveling,
Yep.
throwing it back. When Omega picked up the Angela, it forced their explainer and jungler to get vision, and exactly Blacklist felt that. What they made Omega feel, they felt themselves against RSG.
And with the Angela too, right?
And with the Angela too.
Oh, wow. Let's get back into the draft here. Game number 4. Momentum swinging over to the side of the Raiders. Looking at our preliminary bans, if I may say so myself, there's an SS and a Franco. For sure, SS and Franco.
Yeah, so it's blue side Blacklist, potentially. We'll see once the draft is up on our screens.
I would say, too, I don't...
This is RSG's choice, by the way, now.
Yes. We'll know in just a second. But, yeah, like you mentioned, there's a SS ban, looks like a Faramis ban, Kaja, Franco.
Oh, yeah, so it's blue side Blacklist.
Yeah.
That's how the orders went.
So RSG chose to go red. They like the strength of that 2-swing pick.
Yeah.
There's
and
the 1-1.
This goes back to Coach Pandamentals in Season 9 and Season 10. RSG loved the red side pick. They're really running it back. And this is a season where blue side is the one that shined in terms of the drafting and the orders of picks.
That's right. When the regular season closed up, if I'm not mistaken, the win rate for blue side was somewhere around 54, 55%.
Yeah.
That's unhealthy. That's way beyond 50% that we're expecting. But I wonder what the story is now.
I think we see something very similar in this draft anyway through what we've seen in the series, where there's a lot of focus on, obviously the roam options, which is, again, what we got a glimpse of, right? And Joy is also going to be banned out here. So that's not on the table anymore. And so RSG is blue side.
Oh, okay, okay.
It is
Wait
blue
up.
side. We got Blacklist on the red.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's left?
First pick here.
Maybe they just go Fred. Yeah.
Fred, Val. They really don't want to give it to Yue. Exort was great on it. It's Fred.
You should.
I like Irad's Fred from Game 3. It was the right blend of, lethality and enough of a cushion for the times that he would be a little too deep.
Yeah. It was very Fredly. Glue on is going to be the pickup here for Edward. Thank you. As the XP lane, Valentina maybe, if they want to already. Or they can go ahead and pick up the Akai. They can run back the tanks a lot on Wise, honestly. But then, there's still a lot of picks on the side of RSG. The Kufra available to mess it up. Let's see what they'll go for. It's Eve.
Yeah, go ahead and lock that in. Might as well, right? I think this is the response. Do you just expect the Valentina to be picked up here to respond to the Eve?
Likely.
Or do we see the classic, possibly, maybe a Farsa Eve?
What's your command?
But I think it's a little too... Woo.
Whoa, okay.
Okay. It's neither, right? It's going to be Fanny Kufra.
So, good news for RSG, bad news for Blacklist. Who's going to hold down the Fanny? This seems to be the answer. It's a Twitch response. Does this count? Will this work out? Is the Akai enough to keep this Fanny down?
It will delay the inevitable, but the thing about the Fanny is she can come from out of nowhere, surprise you, burst you down with a cable swing. We saw this earlier, though, from Bren Esports. If they're going to make this work, they can't be overly cautious with it. They have to enjoy the fact that they have a Fanny, they have a Kufra. Earlier, we saw a very calculated RSG. This RSG now, with these two heroes, has to be an RSG that reduces the calculation just a little bit and roll off of instinct.
So they have to pick up the tempo. They have to go with the momentum they picked up in Game 3.
That's the thing, though, man. Like I was saying earlier, RSG, they're momentum based like crazy, and it just, you know, that's what they want to build on, and that's exactly how they got that reverse sweep from yesterday. So this is a great starting first phase of the draft for them to hopefully replicate that and get them to a Game 5 for this series.
Now going into the bans, they're starting to choke down the gold laners. Wow, for the first time in this draft, I believe we're waiting for a gold lane in the second phase for both teams.
For both?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Oh, again, mentioned the Florin. Very good ban here, but then that would mean Blacklist. Oh, will RSG ban out the Lolita? That's my biggest question.
Because if they do, what's Mumshu going to pick up?
We're going to have to check.
Matilda?
Angela.
Matilda.
Angela again.
Angela again. Rafa. Not Rafa, maybe.
That deep? That far in?
That far, that deep. But, oh, man, that Rafa will struggle. Although it will help to get a bit of vision. Will they ban the Esme? No, they ban the Kadita. Oh, interesting.
Valentina is yet to show her face. Are we seeing a No, not going to happen. Never mind. Why is Valentina not here yet? What's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
They would rather ban out Kadita than Valentina? Are they? That's just, I guess, how potent Exhort is on the Kadita, huh?
Yeah, but Exhort as well earlier, his decision in the right times and the right moments to get the heavy spin of the Akai was just as disruptive as what the rest of RSG was doing to the playstyle of Blacklist International. So the Valentina later as a pickup for RSG looks very obvious. And they take away the Moskov, though.
Are they forcing the carry?
Carry, Beatrix all still open. Brody,
Brody.
and Brody for Fanny. It's a great pickup. Seems like they just really didn't want to go up against that Moskov as a Fanny. So Farsa, is it that going to be the
Farsa
pickup?
or Valentina?
Valentina, yeah. Valentina, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
True story. I bumped into him and saw him like across the hall here. Not a single word. He just looked at me and said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he passed by, like in front of the casting desk earlier, he nodded his head and I could see him mouth, yeah.
I think it's just built in, man.
Raiders,
That's how he says hello.
Just Raiders have a pretty strong beacon, a herald of good news. Now, what's Coach Pan and Coach Theo thinking? What are they going to close up their draft with?
Melissa, maybe?
Time and tide wait for
Oh, okay, now they go for Beatrix. And yeah, the Valentina, of course.
Weird that it showed up in the second phase, right? I mean,
These two specifically.
Yeah. But it also kind of makes sense because RSG clearly knows what they wanted to go here for, deciding to take this Fanny into the game where, again, we saw Fanny pop up earlier in the day in a different series and it didn't work out too well, you know?
Yeah.
So you really have to be willing to kind of risk that in a way because at the same time you got to worry about the invades are going to be happening. If that is the plan for Blacklist International to really kind of stall or make it a hard time, and there's the Lolita pick.
Okay, so
expected.
I'm sure the same can be said by Coach Panda and Coach Theo. Like they saw this coming. This has to have been what they were expecting Oh My Venus to pick.
Yeah, and that's why the Valentina pick was so great. Wow, what a draft by both of these two teams.
That's 3 big ticket ults.
Yes, that's what RSG has. What will they choose and how will they use it? I wouldn't be surprised if Export leans more into getting mainly just real world and heavy spin.
Oh wow, I was
Not
thinking
even Numenon.
I was thinking the other way around, the heavy spin or the Numenon.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's gonna be up to him. What a draft. A potential game number 5, but this could be a long one.
It's either going to be long or like they snowball the heck out of this lineup.
Yeah. Because again, if it does go long, I'm asking the table here. if it goes long, who does that benefit?
A part of me leans towards Blacklist in terms of that. Having the Eve, the Brody, Lita for them, the glue will be a difficult target to take down for this lineup of RSG. But as team fights go on, weirdly enough, RSG, if Irad on the Emon can really time his entry, he'll be the counter punish, the counterweight to the Blacklist team fight success.
Well, right now they're putting themselves on. Oh, Edward goes in with a flicker.
Uh-oh.
Not sure if that was intentional or not, but also, oh my Venus here, waiting patiently. Naz, though, will get stunned.
Oh.
Checking out the bush, gonna have to slide on out of there. Will survive both of them, so no one going down to that first of blood just yet.
Huge presence by Blacklist in the XP lane in the opening minute of Game 4. What's the story down bottom, though? I guess it's the usual gold lane duel between two heroes that's not quite ready yet. So about a minute, about 45 seconds maybe, before this first turtle. Is Irad up to tempo here? Is this how fast you want the Fanny to go?
Well, right now, this early in the game, let's see if he'll go for a gank into a lane after getting that Grammar. If he does try to go for Owl after this, then yes. But I think RSG already have a feeling that Oh My Venus is there.
Yeah, like gonna jump in, get the flicker around from Owl. Oh my Venus here now for the backup. Here comes Irad looking for the kill. Goes for Owl. Secures the first blood. Exactly what they were looking for. RSG now on the board.
Exactly what Renmar said would come. I guess Death Ball is in motion.
Yeah, that's the start you want to have if you're RSG, if you're a team with Fanny specifically. Undisturbed in the jungle, able to contest the first turtle, but most importantly, before that, you got to kill on the opposing marksman. Now, this isn't a sure turtle for RSG because it seems like Blacklist will just rush this. Good call by Blacklist to rush this turtle.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be taking that for free.
Yeah.
They know that the Fanny needs the purple.
Yeah, and that's exactly one of the big trades that we see with a team that has a Fanny. If they're going to go for an early gank, because of the timers of the buffs and the rotations, most likely they give up the first turtle, and it becomes a trade kill.
Oh!
Right. White once again going to jump in. There's the real world manipulation, but it won't be enough to thwart them off. Another kill for RSG.
They barreled down on the Queen. At some point, I guess they were going for UA first.
Yes.
But in this early stage of the game, as much as you can get, if anything will get you forward, even maybe just an inch, you take it.
Yeah, great tempo start here by RSG Slate PH. Turtle 2, teams shouldn't overcommit there. Turtle 3 will be the big one, but Light finds Wise.
Like it to know Wise is there. Heavy spin comes out, pushing the bouncing ball out. Here comes the charge up with a new one blast, won't find a connection. And now multiple members here for Blacklist and RSG. No one following up.
Okay, good patience by these two teams. Safila now process there for Ira. That's what he has to watch out for, that sure stun coming from the Lolita.
Yep.
At the wrong time, it will mess up that Fanny.
Oh. Okay, he's going to jump in, but still not going to be able to find the kill there. Oh my Venus already quite durable here. All this leading into the next turtle.
Tis what I call affectionately the bonk. The
bonk, yes.
signature bonk. It's one of the few ways that Blacklist actually have to keep down Irad's Fanny. That and Brody's stun. Everything else you kind of have to aim.
And that's why Irad's timing of entry here will be great. Wise, if he gets this, will be massive for Blacklist.
Yeah, already going to push him back. Like going to jump in. Who does secure it? It looks like Emon grabbed it. Now Wise going to be in trouble. Walk down behind enemy territory. Will fall. Emon grabs the kill plus the buff. Keeps it on RSG. Still going to be going 3 versus 1. Edward going to get taunted as he flickered. Charge up with Noodle Blast. Will find a connection. But they don't have enough damage follow-up here. But enough to hold on a little bit longer. Oh my Venus going to get terrified. There's the set from Light. Flicker comes out. Another one in response. No follow-up, but Exort finally comes in and gets the one they were looking for. Oh my Venus will fall.
That was a slow rolling death ball. Eventually RSG does get it. There was some action down bottom. I guess that's why the rest of Blacklist couldn't respond.
Nas again pulling off one of the fast hands play of this. Look at Light stopping Wise. A free one for RSG Slate. That wasn't a flicker taunt by Nas. That was a taunt into a flicker. Fast hands to pull that off, securing that kill into Oh My Venus and RSG Slate. This is the momentum they want. They didn't get the purple buff for their Fanny earlier, but they punished Wise's deep rotation because I don't think Blacklist expected that Eman was there for that fight. Smart rotation there by Eman to get out of lane, not just play static in lane, go around. RSG's lane, they have to keep this up.
Yep, that's one thing that you're playing with if you have a lineup that has a Fanny. You're expecting more men to respond, but then again, you find these odd angles, and so far it's working out for RSG. Yeah, it's a small 1K gold lead, looking at about 4 kills ahead. Oh!
They want to try it again. Wise going to get locked down once again. Irad able to get the purple. Now Wise in a similar fashion. Deja vu falls in the same position, trying to do the same thing.
Back to the future again.
Yeah, Exort, Valentina up against a Nakai. It puzzles me why Blacklist are willing to pick up a Nakai against that Valentina. They use this very pick, the Valentina jungle, to turn off Echo from picking a Nakai jungle, or even beat Echo picking a Nakai jungle in last year's Grand Finals. And now they are getting punished by the decision-making of Exort.
Dexter Martinez, once hailed as a top global Kadita for about 6 months in the past. That's why they banned out the Kadira in the draft of this game, and now they're paying the price. He's also pretty damn good, Valentina.
Yeah, Light's pretty damn good. Kufra gonna find Oh My Venus. There's the kill from Exort. Now down a member. Turtle coming up here in 10 seconds. RSG getting in position.
Look at the bottom lane. They might be able to find out Owl there.
Oh, lineup shot comes through. Light gonna charge up here. Goes in. Ooh, they get the flicker up, and here comes Irad. Can't get the kill, though, he's looking for. They do grab the turret. Owl gonna have to go back to base. Turtle now up here. RSG making the call. They want to go ahead and start this up.
They don't know Edward's there.
Do they know he's here?
Light once again finding the setup. There's the stun. They get the heavy spin out. Emon in position. Edward getting whittled down a little bit here. Turtle should just go in the hands for RSG.
Yep, they're going to keep it down here, wait for Irad after taking his purple to go ahead and secure it. Amazing play. The fact that Blacklist are currently outgunned didn't make much for that sneaky positioning that Abunjing had.
The Numenon Blast. Same ultimate. Oh!
Light time and time again. Look at the damage. Edward, a split. Here comes the flicker, and Emon picking up the kill. Light is just insane in this game.
We talk about flow. This flow that RSG is on right now, 7-0. They're getting their own version of the game that Blacklist dished upon them earlier. RSG, the story they've put themselves in for this series, could be potentially building up into one of the greatest comebacks of all time, but the series, and this game specifically, isn't over yet. You see their Dreadnought armors across the board for Blacklist, just to reduce the damage coming out from that Fanny and that Beatrix that was relatively undisturbed. 2-0-2 for Emma, BOD. Already built up for both marksmen. Owl, despite him losing the tower in this lane, first 2 towers in the bottom lane, still relatively close enough that this isn't as devastating as it could have been for Blacklist.
Look at what the code breakers are setting up. I wonder if Nats knows. There's got to be some idea here.
A tingle.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows.
They know. They get the turret. He's like, all right.
Yep.
Avoided that situation.
There's a lot of time that Blacklist invested in that rotation, and yeah, Nats wasn't even a worthy target.
Look how deep Light is right now in his positioning in the jungle. So this is info that there are probably members of Blacklist in the bottom lane.
They're deciding to go on Edward. Emon gonna force the split out here. Now Light taking a couple shots from the turret. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Blacklist International looking to respond. They go in for Naz. The flicker comes through. RWM also committed. There's the tone apart memory, but Wise able to get the kill. Light gonna jump in, finds Wise here. Heavy spin comes down. The damage from Emon, though, gonna force Wise back. Noodle Blast, the flicker comes in! It finds Emon! Will he be able to survive? Light's there to help out Owl! Exort goes in with his own copy, and now focuses on UA, gonna force him back. A trade for both teams.
I am you, more like I am Oh My Venus this time around. That was a clutch re-engage.
What a Numenon Blast by Exort. Irad in the mid, almost taking down Oh My Venus. The Lord will be up, and RSG have the advantage. They aren't at the healthiest state. Blacklist way healthier compared to RSG, but RSG will be committing this. Irad can just get some lifesteal in. It's going to be a bit risky here. Irad needs to be careful. RSG needs to be careful.
Oh. Dance can start up light, gonna go in. Gets the heavy spin out. Wise taking quite a bit of damage. The support of the team is there. Now they focus on light. He's cut off from the team here. Naz showing up. There's the immortality. They're gonna get the kill. Going over to Owl here. The rest of the team making their way. There now. Naz gonna be the focus. Emon getting in trouble here in a position. Double kill for Owl. It's a turnaround for Blacklist. They find a couple kills and now they decide to go ahead and pull out the Lord here with the numbers advantage.
Was that RSG hesitating twice in a row?
Yes.
Yep. That looked like a massive hesitation. Asking, oh, are we going to do this? Are we going to go forward? Oh, wait, no, but our roamer is gone. Our XP laner's gone. Frontliner's gone here. Can Irad pull something off here?
They want to contest here. Irad trying to go in. Blacklist International holding on here. Exor with a heavy spin. Irad gets the victor. He finds, oh my Venus, UA will fall as well. Lord, a sliver of health will go down to Wise. They secure the objective and they hold on for a little bit longer. There's light once again. The target will be made and Edward will fall.
They concede the Lord, take a few trades on the clapback. All that's so messy. Who came out the victor?
RSG, definitely. They can clear this Lord quickly. They might even be able to push down the turn down in the mid lane, but they don't. They back off. It's only one minion wave left. Because of the lead that they've sustained, although Blacklist International found a turnaround, this is good breathing room for them. It's still a stalemate, and hence why RSG will win that.
Man, I think the returns, yes, despite them winning the returns, the impact of that, the results, will come out much later. They have to actually convert long-term.
Exactly. It's a long-term investment win for Blacklist, but in the short term, that was still RSG. This purple buff contention should be big, but now RSG needs to be careful. They can't hesitate like what they did earlier.
Nope.
Wise. The definition of insanity. Gonna go in for it again. Heavy spin. Gonna come down. Looking for the fight. He will fall. Who got the purple? The stun is out. Light goes in with the initiation. Irad unleashing the cables here. Quite low though. Has to get out of the fight. But Exort will follow it up. Emon charging up the Renner shot will not connect. But this time, 2 fall for Blacklist.
Is that a double Numenon blast responding to each other? Almost frame perfect?
Yeah. So many Numenon blasts. We should come up with a name for that. But as RSG are coming up with plans of victory here, Exort again, his timing, his commitment to go forward with Light to ensure they got the kill onto Owl, secured that victory for RSG, because if that marksman stayed alive, if the Brody stayed alive for Blacklist International, it would have been devastating. Blacklist could have turned it around there. But Exort is out of his mind right now alongside Light.
Numenonception. How do you like that?
Numenonception.
That's good.
I don't know. I mean, Numenonception.
Yep. That's what happened there. And again, if two equal forces bump into each other, the one with the lead comes out on top, and that's what RSG did.
Turn around here. So the RSG is done from 2 devastating losses for the first 2 games. 100 Strike already built up there by Irad. Smart move to build up the anti-Karas. No, you don't need to go full damage if you're a Fanny. You need to build 1 sustain item. Other than the fact that you're the jungler is because you're going to be going after the opposing marksman.
Once again, the pressure around the purple buff for Irad. They know how valuable this is. Wise also has a heavy spin. It's a heavy spin instead. There's the RWM. Numenon Blast gonna find the target they're looking for. Exort will fall. There's the immortality gonna be popped here. Irad out of here. Ooh. Happy with that. This time, again, Blacklist International continue to put pressure on the resources for RSG.